Hello, my babies. Welcome to the first Gripper Nation stream of 2025. Yes, that's right. 2025 is upon us. The Leafs are on a 5-game winning streak. Perfect time to end it against Carolina, isn't it? That's how I think as a Leafs fan. And you should too. But sometimes they surprise you. Maybe they'll go 6. When was the last time the Leafs had a 6-game win streak, I wonder? It's been a while. Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a good one. Listen, we've got a really, really good game tonight. The reason I picked this one is I was thinking about like, okay, do I do Philly on Tuesday? You know, I did this schedule in like November. Or do I do Carolina on Thursday? And I thought, you know what? What's the better test? What's going to be the harder game? I figured the Philly game would be, an easier game. Turned out not to be. Philly played pretty well. But I think this is the game where I'm like, I want to know what the Leafs look like against a very, very good team that plays a very, very good system. And a system not unlike the one the Leafs are playing this year. You look at how tight the Leafs are and how they're not allowing a lot of goals. They're not scoring as much. Carolina is like a graveyard for big scores. There's a lot of guys that obviously Marty Nietzsche's is having a great year. I know there are outliers. But Carolina's system is top-down, team defense, taking care of the goaltenders. And it doesn't matter that, the last 5 years they've had, 3 or 4 goalies that have been regularly injured. And you're usually running 3 or 4 goalies regularly throughout the season. Doesn't matter. They've won divisions. They've come out on top, and they're looking really, really good this year. Like, if I had asked you at the beginning of the season, who's going to finish higher? The team that won the President's Trophy or the Carolina Hurricanes who lost a bunch of guys? You'd have been like, well, the New York Rangers. And look at where we are. And look at where they are. So I have to say, this is going to be a real test, and that's why I picked it. Now, the Leafs have lost their last 4 games against the Hurricanes. One of them was in overtime, 3 of them in regulation. A record of 4-5-1 in their last 10 games against the Canes. 5 of the last 10 matchups versus Carolina have been 1-goal games. And if you look at the way the Leafs have been playing lately, they've been playing 1-goal games. You can account for some of those games being empty net goal games. Maybe they win 6-4 or they win 4-2. But usually right down to the wire, it's 3-2. It's 5-4. And I'm just thinking about like the games last week and that sort of thing. The Toronto Maple Leafs have had to learn how to defend a 1-goal lead. Now, can they defend a 4-1 lead? I don't know. But a 3-2 lead, they seem to be able to manage. And that's been Carolina's bread and butter. And Carolina has been very good at limiting their scoring. So we'll see what happens tonight. The Leafs are 7-3-0 in their last 10 games. The Canes struggling a little bit. And they might look to this as like a get-right game. They've been 4-5-1 in their last 10. They ranked second in the NHL in shots per game, something that I think Chris Tanev is going to be eating a lot of pucks tonight. Edmonton, first in the NHL, averaging 32 shots a game. Carolina is right behind them at 31.9. The Leafs are 17th in the NHL with 28.3 shots a game. And Carolina has the league's top penalty kill this year. No surprise. Almost 85%. It's 84.9%. The Leafs power play is 18th. As you know, it's struggled at certain moments. So listen, we got an exciting game ahead. I'm real excited, and I'm taking the Leafs. And I think we're feeling good tonight. Now I want to give a quick shout out to Canadian Girl 83, who has already gifted 5 SDPN memberships. James Stemler. Hey, Adam, I got to work, but have a great stream. Go Leafs and go Gripper Nation. Thank you, James. I'm gonna respond to him right now. Thank you, James, for dropping in to say hi. I also noticed Cassie's in the chat. I don't know if I told you guys this, but our good friend Cassie came and visited us at the studio this week. I met the Cassie, and so did Steve and Jesse. The Cassie was here in these halls. It was pretty cool. She was up from Pittsburgh and really just as nice in person as you would have expected from the chat. Isn't that funny? Sometimes you meet people from the internet and they're one way on the internet. And I found this in dating. When I was dating, it's like, oh, you're hilarious over text message. And I meet you in person and you're kind of a dud, right? Not Cassie. Cassie's just as awesome, perhaps even more in person. So everybody do a big shout out to Cassie because we love Cassie. And she actually just commented, hey, I'm back in the States. Sarah Marlowe, I'm snowed in and feel extra goofy. Go Leafs, go. Sarah, where are you located again? And where is it snowing like this? I gotta know. I gotta know. Ali says, "Whoa, are we gonna get Cassie on the pod?" I don't think Cassie wants to come on the pod. I don't think she wants to. Chantel asked, "Did you get Cassie's autograph?" No, I did not get Cassie's autograph. I should have though. Should have had her like I should have like had her sign my arm and then tattooed it on. Something cool like that. Sarah Marlowe is in Kentucky and snowed in. Sarah, it's cold as hell here, but it is not snowing. You guys get a lot more snow, I think, than even we do, because we have a weird, bizarro like lake effect thing going on here in Toronto, where Buffalo gets it, and there's a city north of Toronto called Barrie, and they get it, but Toronto just sort of avoids a lot of snow, which is kind of interesting. Unless every once in a while you get like a once at a decade storm and it shuts the whole city down, but it's pretty rare. Yeah, a lot of people saying I missed an opportunity with Cassie. I know, guys. I should have got an autograph. You know what we should start doing? We should start selling Cassie autographed pictures in the SDPN store, just so everybody has a chance to access the celebrity that is Cassie. Keith Berry says, "I can tell you the score of the game before it even starts. Do you want to bet?" Okay. Well, listen, I actually think this is a real good time to get your predictions in. What do we think tonight's score is going to be? Keith, I want to know what you think. Maybe you're one of the script writers for the NHL, because there's this tinfoil hats out there that people are like, oh, there's a script for every major league. There is a script. If there was a script, the Leafs would have won by now. Okay? But Keith, if you are a script writer for the NHL, let us know how we're going to do tonight. Andy Denial, I live in Erie, PA, and we get hammered. Yeah, you do. It's bizarro in Toronto. George Pye says it's 0-0. Yes, George, we meant at the end of the game, George. That's what we mean. Canes, Leafs, 4-2 Leafs, 4-2 Canes, 4-2 Leafs, 15-4 Leafs. Although, okay, not 15-4, but did you see the Canadian U18 women's team today? They played Japan, and they beat them. I think it was like, I have to look this up. I'm pretty sure it was 17-0. And the shots were like 96-4. TSN. I think TSN had it in their graphics. I'm going to find this. This is crazy. And people are like, oh, it's poor sportsmanship. It's not. It's just a big differential between the countries. So Canada will take on Czechia. They beat Japan 17-0. I got to look this up. Yeah. Canada, Japan hockey. Let's see if we can get the okay. Sportsnet's got an article on it. Canadian women earned a semifinal berth at the under-18 Women's Worlds on Thursday in a 17-0 blowout win over Japan. They're not telling me. Oh, that makes me frustrated. I would like to know what the box score was. Give me. Hayden's looking for it. I don't know why wouldn't you just put the box score up, ladies and gentlemen? I don't understand. Anyway, a bunch of people are running the Canadian Press article. Long story short, Canada did real well. I would love for Austin Matthews and everybody else. By the way, we're getting face off here, so I'm going to clap. Boom. Game has started. Boom. Gosco boys. I would love for the Leafs to win a game like that. I don't think they've won like a major blowout. Like, what was the last Leafs major blowout, guys? It's been a while. And I would love for it to happen against Carolina. I think it's pretty rare that Carolina ever gets blown out, but it'd be sweet if it happened tonight. Interestingly, tonight too, for the Lions, Riley and Tanev are back together, and this was sort of a thing that we thought was going to happen more throughout the year. And that when Tanev was signed, everybody's like, well, finally a defense partner for Riley. Well, it's been Philip Myers most of the time. So anyway, be something to watch tonight. I think Morgan Riley is feeling himself again. He's got a little bit of a groove going on. I'm happy for him. William Nylander, Craig Berube was talking about him, saying that his confidence might be down a little bit. He's had a rough couple games. But look at that. It's a 2-on-1, and Willie just put it off the post. Man, I need to talk about how Willie's losing his confidence more often. Look at that. That was a great shot. Damn. Tim Wiley, Adam, based on your recommendation, I got the Rogers v. Rogers book. Holy crap, it was good. You should try to get the author to discuss it on a VIP episode. Yes, I should. She was a reporter for the Globe and Mail. She's now moved on to something else, but her last name is Podzansky. If you want to look her up, she is, and I can't remember her first name because I'm terrible with names. That book, Rogers versus Rogers, oh baby, like from the first paragraph, first chapter, you're like, wow. It's if you like Succession, you'll love this. J Picks, hey Adam, going to my first game versus the Oilers on my birthday next month. What are the odds the Leafs lay an egg? I would say low. And guys, you can back me up on this one, or you can disagree with me on this one. I think low. I think the Leafs get up for Connor McDavid, and you should. Oh, Lorentz! Oh, Myers could add a goal there. So Hayden's got the shot totals for the Canada Japan 17-0 game. What was it, Hayden? So Canada had 76 shots. Oh, we got a goal! Forget that. We got a shot on goal, and it's Nick Robertson, baby. Woo! That's a great start to the game. We like this. Hey, listen. Our you know what? Maybe this is a 17-0 game. By the way, Canada 77 shots, Japan 4. And by the way, Steve mentioned this on the podcast. Nick Robertson getting scratched, which he was last game. He's back in today. Him getting scratched is hilarious because every time he comes back, it's like he's shot out of a cannon. And look at this. Look at the way he scores. He's going to score this goal. We're watching replay. Bang. He barely even puts his stick up. He's like, yeah, goal score. Big deal. Good for him. That's great. We got to cheer for Nicky Bobby. We got to cheer for Nicky Bobby. That's so great. Really, really good. I think it's funny. Don't tell them, but one of the sites that has all the cool lineups is out of date. But the site that is not is Puckpedia. Puckpedia's got a lineup chart, and it's actually awesome because it shows not only the lineup, but how much the player makes and how many years they're left on their deal. So Riley Tanev, Ekman Larson, Myers, that'll be an interesting pairing. And then Benoit Timmins. This is where we're seeing the Leafs' defensive depth in action. And this is going to happen during the playoffs too, guys. Like if the Leafs go anywhere, people are going to be injured and they're going to have to sit games. And I'm kind of excited about Myers because all of a sudden he's like a really viable guy. And Benoit is Benoit, and Timmins has been a revelation this year. It's been, listen, I gave Kyle Dubas a lot of crap for giving him $1.1 million. Not afraid to admit Kyle was right. Is Kyle smarter than me? Yes. Doesn't mean I won't give him crap from time to time, though. Just saying. Oh, Cassie dropping 50 SDPN memberships. Cassie, thank you. We love you. You were the best. The other thing I want to mention, we should talk a little bit about the Carolina lineups here. Pulling it up here on Puckpedia. Puckpedia, where are the Hurricanes? You know when you're looking for that one logo and you can't find the one logo? That's what I'm doing. Okay, there it is. So Jarvis, Aho, Roslovic, Robinson, Kotkaniemi, Natchez has been, for a guy that was asking for a trade in the summer, man, he's been good. Holy moly. Svechnikov, Stahl, Martinuk, Yaska, Drury, Blake, and then on defense, Slavin, Burns, Orlov, Chatfield, Smith, and Walker, and Kochekov in net. Man, it doesn't really matter who Carolina puts in net. They just seem to do well. And by the way, I think their goalie tandem, if you ignore Freddie Anderson, is as cheap as the Leafs goalie tandem, or cheaper. The Leafs are paying just over $3 million for their two goaltenders per year, which is outrageous. Carolina right now, Kochekov makes $2 million. Tokarski, who's looked pretty good, is making $7.75. How is Dustin Tokarski 35? By the way, there's Philip Myers. I think his second shot of the game. Crazy. Hayden said it's one of the best nicknames in hockey because they call him Officer Tokarski. Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go. My computer zipped out for me in a second there, so I wasn't watching the play. Here we go. Lorentz, Robertson, Domi out there. I love what Steven Lorentz has brought to this team this year. Like really, really spectacular. And they're talking already like they're going to, extend him, which I think is cool. Kind of like what they did with Philippe Myers. It's like, you're not an everyday guy, but we're going to give you some consistent money. You're going to have another couple years, which Philippe Myers did get. And, at a reasonable term that, won't keep you out of the lineup. One of the problems that Philippe Myers had when he was in Philly was he signed a deal where he was making 2.25 million, which is pretty good, except for when the COVID bubble happened, his cap was too much for the Flyers to handle because it was flat. And he's going to make 850 grand the next 2 years. And I think really earn his way into a regular NHL spot again. I think it's a pretty good little career he's putting together, and I would say the same for Steven Lorentz. And what's cool about Steven Lorentz is he wanted to be a Leaf so bad. He goes and he wins the Cup in Florida, and he wants to be a Leaf so bad that he turns down guaranteed money from like 3 or 4 other teams, like guaranteed contracts, and comes to Toronto on a PTO and goes, I'm just gonna try to make it here." And he did. And look at what he's done. It's very cool. It's very, very cool. By the way, the chat tonight is squarely in favor of the Leafs. Justin just sent me the results. The Leafs, 82%. The Canes, 17%. On the question of who's taking it tonight, I feel like the poll might be slightly biased. But if you are a Canes fan in the chat, just so you know, you're welcome here, and we love you. But, we have to chirp you a little bit tonight. Got to give you a little crap. You know what I mean? Austin Royal, my Canes are extremely mid. Masked by their hot start. Leafs probably winning this one. Leafs are my second favorite team because of you guys. Well, Austin, thank you, and welcome to the heartbreak. If you make the Leafs your second team, you still get your heart broken all the same. Although I think this year this team's I'll be honest, I've been saying this a bit. This team's a lot better than I think they've been in years past, and I think it's masked by the fact that we're used to them scoring a bunch of goals and being high flying, and that's kind of gone away. And people are like, well, I don't know if I like that. It's probably bad. I actually think it's good. And it's funny. People are like upset about the way they're playing. There's certain members of the analytics community, and I get it, right? Challenges certain beliefs and that sort of thing that are concerned about the way the Leafs are playing. And, you look at their game against Philly, that first period was terrible, but they won it anyway. And you are going to have bad games, and they're in first. People are like, well, it's just hot goaltending. Well, I don't know if you know this, but hot goaltending brought the Montreal Canadiens all the way to the Stanley Cup final in 2021. Or did we all forget? Or did everybody forget what happened with LA in 2012? Or countless other examples. Vegas in 2017 when they made the finals. Listen, people are like, here we go. Nylander's on a breakaway. 13-15 left in the third. Here we go. Come on, Willie. Kochetkov got it. Willie's going to get one tonight, guys. Willie's going to get one tonight. He's going to get one. Oh, I got 2 super chats that I missed. Sorry if I miss your super chats. Occasionally, I just get too into it. Pickleball Pat, go Leafs. Just got the Rogers versus Rogers book on Kindle. Thanks. Pickleball Pat, enjoy, my friend. I put it on audiobook, but damn, either way you get it, it's great. Cassie, okay, but Adam, how was the loaf? I need to know. The loaf, so Cassie brought some baked goods from a local bakery. And Cassie nailed it. Delish. So good. So good. Pierre-Luc Dubois, Vegas was 2018. Are we sure? Maybe it was. Whatever. Oh, Caps lived and died by their goaltending. Exactly. Listen, we all kind of forgot how good Braden Holtby was because when he went to Vancouver, he wasn't good anymore. But let's not forget, he thrived in that Barry Trotz system. Thrived. Ty Smith says such a frustrating first period for the Sens. Yeah, the only thing I've seen from the first period for the Sens was the Brady Tkachuk hit on Jason Zucker, and I think Jason is at least. I don't think he's coming back tonight. I think Brady Tkachuk just crushed him. Let's have a look at the out of town scoreboard. What do we got here? What do we got tonight? Okay, so the Sabres are up. What? So okay, weirdly, the Senators have 13 shots, Sabres 6. But the Sabres have 2 goals, and this kind of speaks to the fact that Ottawa's just had no luck with health in net. Like Linus Ullmark was finally looking like the guy that we saw in Boston, infuriatingly saw in Boston, by the way, Leaf fan. And it's sort of unfair for whoever they have starting right now because this is not. I know you got to win these games, but like at the end of the day, these guys should not be playing. I would be interested to see what Julian would have to say about this game afterwards. But I'm gonna have a look at Ottawa's sort of back end and their goaltending right now because since we're bringing them up, the Leafs games come back. But um, yeah, you got Olmark, Bernard Docker, Amadio, Perron, all of them on injured reserve. So it's Forsberg and Miralainen. It's tough, man. It's tough. We love a little Forsberg, but still. Nylander's got the puck again. Nylander feels like there's something cooking there tonight. Am I wrong? Am I wrong on that? Just feels like he feels like he's got that thing tonight where he's William Nylander. He's playing with Tavares and McMahon. So that's pretty sweet. Bummer to see the Domi Robertson McMahon line broken up. Oh, here we go. Nylander on another breakaway. A minute after his first, and he buries it. He buries it, baby. Let's go. He had a breakaway like 45 seconds ago in play, scored, or didn't score, and then just nailed this one. That's his third great chance in the first 8 minutes of this game. He had a post. He tried to go 5-hole on a breakaway, and then, man, oh my God. Good for Willie. He just has it tonight. So backhand and up against Kochekov didn't work in the oh wow. He didn't even dig, just fired it past him. Love it. Love it, guys. Well, that's a great start. Okay, now we're only 15 goals away from matching Canada's U18 team. So we're 2-0, 15 more goals, and the Leafs will match them. Let's see them do it. We got super chats that I have missed. Austin Amino. My thoughts out for the people in LA and the wildfires. Yeah, so I checked in with Alan on this because Alan lives in Los Angeles. Him and his family are okay, but I think we're doing a show. We might be doing a show tomorrow. I just, obviously we wanted to do one earlier this week, but things have been a bit chaotic in Los Angeles, obviously. So we'll have him sort of talk about how it's been on the ground there. But they moved the Kings and the Flames game. They've moved the football game. And you have to think about, like, this is America. How bad do things have to be to move a football game, especially a playoff one? It's crazy. Entire neighborhoods wiped out. It's been an unbelievable, like the visuals on it are just crazy. So if you are an Angelino or from the area or have family or friends in the area, Austin Amino, you're absolutely right. Just a shout out to everybody. And I've got a Hayden, can you send me some more of these super chats? Oh, here we go. J Rock. Canadians went to the Cup final because of Ducharme. Duh. Yeah, right. Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, sure they did. Yeah, Dom Ducharme, the guy who scratched Cole Caulfield a bunch. He's actually coaching in Vegas now. He's an assistant coach, I think, with the Knights. So, goalie Cody 30 says, "Thanks for another stream, Adam. Have the stream, the Leafs game, the Stars game, all up while snowed in here in Oklahoma City." So, okay, so Kentucky's got it, Oklahoma's got it. Was it just a crazy Midwestern storm in the States? What do we have? By the way, I love that you have that many screens up. I love the attention to not having attention. Does that make sense? I would totally be that person, by the way. That is the way my brain works. I could have like 20 TVs on a wall and I'd be like, yeah, I can watch all of them. And probably not watch any of them well. But it's the way my brain works. Click, 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 click. Oh, Matthews with a good little shot there. Kochekov's got it in his glove. Loving the Leafs last 5 minutes here. I think they were kind of getting their feet wet in the first 5. I think they've done a pretty good job here in the second 5 minutes of this game. Robert Bett. Maybe a dumb question, but are you guys doing any Scepters games? So that's the first part of that question. Yes, Jesse's already done some Scepters games. I think the problem for me sometimes is when the Scepters games are on, some of the timing just doesn't work. just because like it'll be like a weekend and I'm like it's a weekend afternoon or something like that, and I'm with my daughter. But I want to take her to a game. I'm going to start with the Marlies, and then I'm going to take her to the Scepters, and then when she's older, I'll take her to the Leafs. Robert also says, also, why do you think betting stats have the Hurricanes above the Leafs in chances to win the Cup? Go Leafs, go Grippers. Um, it's a good question. I think probably because the Hurricanes have more playoff success than the Leafs do, and that's objective. And, like for Carolina Hurricanes fans, and there are some in the chat tonight, you can back me up on this. You guys are all frustrated. It's like, man, we never make the third round. And we're in Toronto like, man, what's that like? That must be cool. That seems like a great problem to have. Wait, you guys have seen a conference final in the last 25 years? Man, what's that like? What's it like to breathe that air and be in the Final Four? I think that the Hurricanes have shown that in the playoffs they can get things done. Where the Leafs, they got some work to do on that category. But I like the way they're playing. Richard says, if the weather is like this in Tampa next year for the outdoor game, there won't be a problem. Lows tonight in the mid 40s. So that's close to freezing temperatures in Tampa. People don't remember, people don't forget, I'm sorry. People don't realize, I think, especially up here in Canada, that Florida gets pretty cold in like December, January, and then warms back up in February. And it's like oppressively hot in August, where there's like when I was in Tampa in August once, it thunderstormed every day at 3:00. But it's not cold by our standards, but it's cold by Florida standards, right? So Hurricanes and Leaf fans can bond about getting worked over by the Panthers in 2023. Amen to that. Amen to that. Oh, Natalie's here. That would be my wife, Natalie. Deb says, "Hi, Natalie. Can you send me some lobster pasta?" Well, honestly, yeah. My I don't know if you guys saw it in my Instagram stories. You can follow me if you want to. My wife made 4 or 5 lobster tails and then freshly made pasta with her mom, like with the crank machine, for New Year's Eve dinner. So she did the lobster, she did the pasta, and then we put it together. It was like a white wine sauce. Delish. She only does it once a year, and it's always at New Year's because it's a lot of work. SLS. Adam, we need to hear the story of Steve clogging the toilet. Steve addressed it in one of his streams, but he actually didn't. We need the truth. You know what, SLS? I've got my SDP rundown right here, and I'm going to write it down. Steve toilet clog story, because I did promise you guys that, and then promptly forgot, as you guys all predicted I would. We got a super chat on my phone from Ty Smith. Ty Smith, Adam, next year, can one of your hot takes be Toronto traffic isn't that bad, just to watch Steve sit in silence for about 3 minutes? Here's the thing. Downtown Toronto traffic, if you know where to drive, isn't that bad anymore. It's way better to me than it was before the pandemic. The problem with Toronto traffic right now downtown is the construction, because I don't know why, other cities seem to get it done a lot faster than we do. And Toronto's totally cool with like, hey, for 3 years, we're going to have one lane. And there's a million people exiting the city at 5 p.m. And that sounds like a not us problem. I don't know how we do that. I don't know how that's managed, but that's how we manage it. So I think you're right. You know what, Ty? Maybe I'll just say it to bother him. I like that. Joe Perez, it's a damn nightmare downtown. Again, if you're down near Lakeshore, it is. Stay away from Lakeshore. Stay away from the arenas. Stay away from Rogers Center. Stay away from that area. Stay away. But if you're up like Dundas area, you can sneak out pretty quick. Chantel Zeller, boss makes $1, Adam makes a dime, and that's why Steve poops on company time. I like that. 8:44 left in the first period, by the way, for everybody looking to align streams. 8:40, 8:39, 8:38, 8:37. We're watching the Leafs and the Canes. We got some Carolina Hurricanes fans in the chat, which I love. Love connecting with all the fan bases as we do this throughout the year. Pick this game specifically because the Canes are good. We've been told by Canes fan, oh, we might have a Marner break here, who has also just had an unbelievable year. Nice pass. Ooh, nice pass to Bobby McMahon there. Love that play. Carson, Crosby moved to 8th all-time in points tonight. Well, good for him. All right, hold on. Quant Hockey. Quant Hockey always has the best sort of stats. So all-time NHL all-time records. So Quant Hockey hasn't updated it. He moved to 8th all-time in points? I don't think so, because he's at 1640 and Sakic is at 1641. So he probably passed Sakic, but Mario Lemieux is next. And Mario Lemieux is almost 80 points ahead of that. So I think he's 9th. But even so, Sidney Crosby, man. Amazing. You know what's even crazier about that is all the guys ahead of him, with the exception of Yager, played in like the 80s when scoring was insane. Gretzky, Yager, Messier, Howe, Ron Francis, Marcel Dion, Yzerman, Lemieux, and then Sakic until a second ago when Crosby passed. So congrats to Sidney Crosby. We love Sid the Kid. And hey, listen, Cassie would want me to tell you this. Penguins sniffing around a playoff spot. They're sniffing. So are the Montreal Canadiens, strangely, which is awesome. I love a battle for a playoff spot. By the way, something to keep in mind, and I retweeted this earlier today, as we creep up to Four Nations, which is basically a month away. It starts on February 12th. Canadian goaltending situation is further complicated by the fact that they didn't pick the best Canadian goaltender this year. Management said, oh, we're going to pick the players that perform best to start the year. Logan Thompson had an insane start, and they're like, yeah, we're still not going to pick him. I think the guy's got less than 5 losses. He's been insane. Logan Thompson. Logan. Let me just run you through these stats. Say it again, Hayden. Logan Thompson, 21 games, 17 of those are wins. 919 save percentage, 232 goals against average, not a member of the Four Nations team. And remember, he was traded during an autograph session for a 3rd round pick. I got to say, the Capitals had just a gangbusters offseason. The Pierre-Luc Dubois trade, Jake Chychrun. They got Jake Chychrun for nothing. Oh, nice little turnover there. Robertson on the forecheck. Lobbed it towards the net. Oliver Ekman-Larsson keeps it in. I like this line. They're looking good. That's when the Domi line is at its best. Domi with Robertson and McMahon or Lorentz. They're in the offensive zone. They're pressuring. They're moving the puck around. It's what happens now. See, they're hemmed in their zone. And Lorentz did a really good job breaking that up. And out they go. Robertson is still on the ice. It is a problem. It's a problem. And the Carolina Hurricanes score. This is the thing. High event hockey. They do outscore their opponents, though. I will throw that at you. It's 2-1. Robert Bett, are the Bruins having a banner year according to Leafs fans? No, they are not. Sedin Magic 15. Marner is having an unbelievable year where he needs a new contract. Imagine that. Hey, listen. I have been critical of Mitch Marner's playoff stuff in the past, and I think rightfully so. But I will tell you that he has had years like this before, but it kind of goes unnoticed when his line mate is scoring 69 goals. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if Matthews was on a 70-goal pace again this year, we're not talking about Marner. And it's not because Mitch Marner's not good. It's because 70 goals is otherworldly. I'm going to try to pronounce it. Rennie Pamam? Up Dufferin and across Harvard Street, around Queen's Park Loop to Wellesley. Great detour for me throughout the years. There's somebody who knows his Toronto traffic. Love that. Love that. Oh my God, the Leafs just allowed another goal. Robinson. Wow. We have a tie game here. And there's 5:45 left in the first period. Yuck. Well, I guess that 17-0 win is off the table now. Damn, dude. That's rough. What happened here? So top line. Wow. And that's the top line. Matthews, Marner, Nyes have been very strong on the defensive side. Chris Tanev is out there. Like, it doesn't get much better than that. So they mentioned on the broadcast there are high point shots coming in. Usually, when you're taught to play hockey, you're taught to keep your point shots low. But I think the reason that they keep them high against the Leafs is because Chris Tanev's out there and he's going to block it. Ali says, you let Jordan Stahl score on your franchise. Oh, guys, don't worry. The Leafs let every player in a slump score on them. Every single one. Adam fixed the mic. What's wrong with the mic? Is the mic bad? Is the mic bad? Mic sounds like it's underwater. I, I haven't. Oh, so am I peaking? Maybe I need to just step back. How's that? Is that better? Can you hear me properly? That's probably better. I probably had it too close. Cartoon Wing says, sorry, guys, this might be my fault. I just decided to turn on the game. Well, Cartoon Wing, it is your fault. We have to blame you. I'm sorry. Now you put yourself forward. You volunteered as tribute. Now this is your fault. Ooh, Orlov almost had a nice little high shot on Joseph Wall there. Yuck. So Chantel says every time you get loud, you're swimming. Okay, so that is definitely because I had the mic too close to me. I apologize. I'm used to the podcast mic where you have to get really close. This one is more of a room mic, and that's not usually great. It's not. It's a good mic. I wouldn't say it's as good as the ones we have on the podcast. I am so excited to see the PWHL take over Sunday in Denver. Shout out to whoever asked the question about the appropriate jersey choice. Since my order from September was delayed, I'll be rocking SDPN gear. Yes, Heather. Heather, the Avs fan. That's awesome. That is that's awesome. Enjoy that. By the way, I do want a Scepters jersey. I've worn one. They brought it in and they're like, sorry, we have to take that back because we haven't had enough of these printed. But dude, they are so cool. They actually look amazing in person. Rennie is fine and having a drought. Just play the Leafs. True. True. It's so true. Ty Smith says, okay, Sens second period starting. We'll gift subs for every Sens goal. I love that. We're going to need some Sens goals. I think that, listen, it's Buffalo. They should score. All right. And Hayden has sent me some more texts. Okay, that's good. I got those covered off. Just making sure here. Where is Adam streaming from? SDPN Underwater HQ, the Groin Zone, Gripper Nation, literal place. I'm going to say the Groin Zone. Is that the... that is a really uncomfortable name for this studio. We really should have thought this through. The other thing that probably you don't want is a yellow background, but it's kind of good because this couch is white. And as a white man, I don't know if you've noticed, I'm pretty pasty, right? Like, yikes. The yellow actually makes the white seem okay because you don't want a white background. Washes, especially a white boy like me, washes you out on camera. I might eventually, like I think for the playoffs, I might switch out this couch, to be honest with you. As much as this couch is lovely and I adore it, I would like just a bit more of it. This couch you kind of sink into, and I have to sit on like a couple throw pillows to meet you at eye level. So I think we're gonna have to sort out the seating situation eventually. Will Looper, hey, what do you guys do? What do you guys do with old bits on the pod? Y'all should have a VIP episode where you revisit old bits from the past. We used to do that in our holiday episodes that were non-VIP. And I think the thing is, when you take something like several years out of context, it sort of can lose its it can in certain cases it can lose how funny it was. So we did that a couple times and we all felt like afterwards we're like, that wasn't our best stuff. We wanted it to be better, but we're like, I don't think we were entertained by our own bits, if that makes any sense. And that for us means I don't know if the audience would be. It's a great idea. It's just like we're not like so much of what Steve says that's funny or Jesse says is funny has to do with what's going on at the time. Oh, Nylander, man, almost picked the corner. And so when you listen to it like 3 years later, you know, You just don't remember things in detail the way that you did before. Does that make any sense? Cassie says, how fast do we think the Pens will blow their lead? Well, not as fast as the Leafs, Cassie. What is the lead? Pens are at, where are we at? Where are we at? Who are they even playing? Oh, the Oilers. 4-1 on the Oilers. What? You know what? They won't blow it. And we got a penalty on, it looks like Morgan Riley. Boo hoo. I hate it. And I got a super chat that I missed. Insignificant Nick. Nick, you are significant. You're significant to us in Gripper Nation. I don't know if you mentioned it before, but did you get your Oasis tickets? They were expensive AF, but I got them. I haven't got it yet. And I'll be honest with you, the reason is they're outrageously expensive, and I'm not totally sure that the prices won't come down. I have a thought. I think they might, because I think they're going to make it through this tour. They're going to make a bazillion jillion dollars, and I think they're going to do it again. I do want to go though. I'm debating on whether to spend money on that or not, but it's a lot of money. All right, so the Canes power play is not the greatest. The Leafs have a pretty good penalty kill, but remember, we're the slump busting team. So it's Kampf, Marner, Benoit, and Tanev out there. Morgan Riley does kill penalties. He is not out there right now. He is in the box. Carolina moving the puck around really well. Good little shot through traffic. Goalie makes a save. Go Joseph Woll. Dan Patrick, who is now a VIP member. Dan Patrick asking, will Marner break 100 points this year? Assuming he doesn't get injured? Yeah. Yeah, I think this is the year. He's never done it, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, I think it's time for Marner to hit 100 points. And I think it's not just time for Marner to hit 100 points. I think it's time for Marner to hit like 110, maybe even 120. Sedin Magic 15, notable for the Pens. Crosby passed Joe Sakic tonight, 9th on the all-time points list. Yeah, we talked about that earlier, and good for him. We love him. We love him. Oh, Woll with another save. Minute 24 remaining on the power play. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first period if you are aligning your stream with mine. By the way, Robert Malloy's in the chat, reminding you to like this video so that the algorithm will pick it up and go, hey, you know what? We should have more people looking at this. So if we could do a little bit of a like, we've got 526 people watching, but only 168 likes. I think we need to do a little better than that. Can everybody just click like for me? Can we do a like spike? Do people still do that, by the way? I know that was like a big thing. Oh, smash that like button, everybody. Oh, Sid scored again. 5-1. Thank you, Cassie, for the update. Damn, the Penguins beating up on the Oilers. That's sort of what I was hoping it would happen against Carolina tonight, but I guess 17-0 wasn't on the cards. Maybe the Leafs can win this game 17-2. 20 seconds left. Nice little dive there to get the puck out. Silent Rob 1192. I hate ESPN and the NHL. I've heard games are very hard to watch on ESPN Plus, and I just don't understand it. I don't understand how that's possible. Cosmo Kramer says, I want to be a citizen of Gripper Nation. Well, sir, you are welcome to. I think Cosmo Kramer is Canadian Girl 83's dog. Am I wrong? Or is that a different Cosmo Kramer? Robert Tipple, I just showed up. What have I missed? Well, Robert, the Leafs looked amazing through the first 15 minutes and scored 2 goals and then promptly gave up 2 goals in the course of like 30 seconds. So, super leafy game. It's about as leafy as it gets. 45 seconds left to go. Nylander, McMahon, Tavares out there. Nylander looks like he has it tonight, man. He really does. But I hope the rest of the team starts to have it, because they haven't looked great. I'll be honest with you. That first line, the exception of Marner, been a little quiet. I'd like to see Matt guys show up. Look at all these people bricked up in the chat. Are we bricked up tonight? We bricked up, chat? Ten seconds to go. And it looks like we're going to the second period, tied at twos, which should Carolina almost scored there, which should absolutely not the case. So that Cosmo Kramer, I am not a dog, I am a man. Haha. Well, Cosmo, you are welcome here. By the way, Canadian Girl 83 does have a dog named Cosmo Kramer. That's how well we get to know each other in Gripper Nation. We know each other's pets' names. This is the community that we're building. And we're smiling through the Leafs giving up a 2-goal lead in 17 seconds. I'm not going to dread. I will not live in existential dread right now. Austin Bayless, the Leafs look great for 15 minutes and bad for 30 seconds, and somehow 30 seconds was all it took. Yeah, that's because it's the NHL. And like, if the Leafs had looked marginal for that period of time, it would have been fine. But the Leafs looked like garbage. They looked terrible. Terry M. Leafs are lucky they're not down 6-2. That might be a bit of a stretch, Terry. Maybe if Peter Mrazek was in net, they would have been down 6-2. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts on a big boy line of Nice, Matthews, McMahon to change this up? I think Robert Miller, who asked that question, I think if you're going to do a switch up, you put Domi with Nyes and Matthews. I don't think you put McMahon up there because you've got two power forwards and a goal scorer. You kind of need somebody who's going to make plays and set somebody up. Yeah. 12 Creation says, with the game being tied, do you think it's too early to panic? Hashtag never too early. Hashtag fire Berube. Hashtag time to rebuild. You know what? Damn. You know what? Let's freak out. We should just go full panic. Wes Richard, car salesman's talking to a customer, and customer asks for cargo space. And the car salesman says, car no go space, cargo road. I can't give you that. Wes. See, so Hayden in my ear is like, that's a 10 out of 10 joke. Wes, I don't know if I can do it, man. I don't know if I can. Steve would give you that. I'll tell you that. He would give you that. Canadian Girl 83 gifting 5 SDPN memberships. And so if you were gifted a membership tonight, please make sure to thank Canadian Girl 83. Now, we are going to go to break here for a sec. We're going to play some, what are we doing, Hayden? Oh, I got a treat for you. We got a segment for you called Why Do the Bruins Suck? And believe me, I have been praying for this downfall. So you're going to watch a little of that, and then we're going to come back for the second period start. I need to use the bathroom. I'll be frank with you. So I'm going to go to the bathroom, not going to clog the toilet. I'm going to come back, and we're going to watch the Leafs score 15 goals and win this game 17-2. Does that sound good? Okay, great. Enjoy. From 98.5, the Sports Hub, this is Ty Anderson, who is a reporter for the Bruins for 98.5, the Sports Hub, which is a radio station there. Mm-hmm. Blown out. And honestly, not even looking somewhat competitive along the way by the Oilers on Tuesday, the third of Boston's fifth straight defeat. Saw the TD Garden crowd break out into Fire Sweeney chants that echoed throughout the building. This wasn't just the raving of a mere row of those in balcony 308 or some other people. I don't know. He's got some sort of Boston reference there. It was sung out by a large segment of the arena from the balcony to the lodge, and the chant was loud enough to be picked up by the Nesson broadcast. Fire Sweeney chants. Can you imagine this a year and a half ago when Boston were setting the record for the most wins in NHL history?
Adam,
2023, guys, was not that long ago.
This has come up in our friendship many times. I went to Catholic school.
You did.
Kindergarten.
You and Jesse. You're the Catholic boys.
We did.
Yep.
And I don't say it enough, but God is good.
You glad you took your confirmation and got that done?
God is good, Adam. That is. Listen, what was my December my little holiday bold prediction for the year?
You said they would not make the playoffs.
Maybe like I'm also good. Like at predicting.
Stop.
Could it be that? Could it be? No. I mean, listen. It is a minefield to get into the playoffs in the East. The Bruins have been down and out before this season, fought back very resiliently. They're on a downturn again. It's bad.
And
it's like going from the best tandem in the league, bar none, to Swayman gets off to a bad start. He's since pretty much recovered. And like you're replacing Ullmark with Korpisalo.
I warned you.
Yeah.
I warned you.
You did. I thought
Not good at goaltending.
I thought it would be enough. I thought it would be enough. It still might be.
Currently 28th in the NHL in goal differential.
Ooh. But I think a lot of that is holdover from the beginning of the season.
Maybe.
That they still haven't recovered from.
They are 31st on power play. You think the Leafs power play is hard to watch?
Oh, I can't believe that.
They are, let's just look at their PK. I don't even know where they stand on that. Oh, yeah, they're 25th on PK, too.
Now,
so that's bad.
Now, the head coach is responsible for the power play and the penalty kill, right?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, you do have power play coaches, like the assistants sometimes take the lead on that.
Oh, man. I don't know. If this keeps up, Jim Montgomery's going to lose his job.
Well, they did, as you mentioned, when Joe Sacco took over, they did have a bump.
They did.
They came back and started playing well.
Where to go?
Well, I think that they're kind of flawed. You know?
Well, like, what, are the Red Wings awesome now? Like, it's interesting that almost everyone gets the new coach bump.
Yes.
And the Red Wings are definitely experiencing that. I think they've won 5 straight. Patrick Kane's having this ridiculous renaissance, and the Todd McClellan Wings. How many games have they lost under McClellan? Was it just the Leaf
I think
game?
it was just the Leaf game.
That's crazy. But can you keep it up? Can you stay this way? The Bruins are fascinating. I don't agree with every decision they've made. Some of their additions, some of them make perfect sense. I'm like, yeah, Zadorov should be a Bruin. That makes a lot of sense. Hampus Lindholm, I don't know.
Elias Lindholm is the egregious one.
Oh, sorry.
Hampus, I'm fine with.
Shoot. I was like, no, I'm going to get the right one, and I got the wrong one. Hampus Lindholm's been great. Sorry. Elias Lindholm. Brad Marchand hasn't been great.
Brad Marchand needed somebody to be the next Brad Marchand. When older guys on Boston got older, Marchand and Bergeron were able to carry the torch.
He's the 21st oldest player in the league. We talked about this last show. It's Patrick Marchand is the same age as Patrick Maroon.
Brad Marchand.
Patrick Marchand.
Oh my God.
Did you sleep? Are you okay?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No. The LFR into podcast turnaround is difficult.
How's Isla?
My bad. Isla's good. Thank God.
Did she sleep through the night?
She did.
Didn't wake up with any
over
hives?
the holiday. Yeah, she woke up polka dotted, and we're like, she'll be okay. And then she woke up more polka dotted, and we're like, let's call a health professional. And they're like, monitor her overnight, and so we did. And then she woke up and looked like she had been stung by an entire hive of bees. And so we went to the ER, and they said she's fine. And we're like, thank you for that. That was a great use of 3 hours. Anyway,
That's how trips to the ER usually go these days.
By the way, the fact that you were only there 3 hours is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be called the so you think this is an emergency room? That's what it should be called. Because the vast majority of the time it's like they let you sit there to be like, this isn't an emergency, is it? You're fine. You're going to be, you broke your nose, Steve? You went to the ER for a broken nose? Grow up. Anyway. Yeah, I don't agree with everything they've done, but the Bruins have been this weird team that I just haven't applied logic to because you shouldn't, right? It's dumb to do that. They can make as many bad decisions as humanly possible, and I would still bet on them because they're the Bruins.
Yes.
And they always find a way. They won 65 games, and we're like, oh, well, what's the drop-off going to be like? And they started better. Like, they won 10 straight games to start last year. They had the coach bump this year, and I said, oh, there you go. But it's almost like, Adam, you're a huge wrestling fan, so I know you know this reference. Undertaker versus Roman Reigns. And what happens when the Undertaker's lying flat on his back?
Well, doesn't he rise from the dead?
Yeah, he does that zombie thing where he rises from the dead, and he always does it. And you're like, what do I got to do to keep this guy down? But in his last match against Roman Reigns, The Undertaker went to get up, and he couldn't do it, and he fell over.
Oh.
Before losing the match and leaving all his gear in the ring for one last time. And it's happened, honestly, it's happened half a dozen times at least, where I'm like, well, Bruins might be cooked. And they keep coming back stronger. 28 years later, how do they keep making sequels? I don't know. The zombies keep winning. I don't know. They sure seem to be flawed this time. It's so hard to bet against them.
Yes.
There's a lot of trauma.
I think there's Leaf trauma there. Like, I'm sure if you're a LA Kings fan, you're like, a little bit. Ducks fan.
We'll be fine.
Well, you're looking at the Bruins going, no, they probably are cooked. But as a Leaf fan, you can't ever believe that.
The Leafs are going to
because
screw
they'll
around.
catch you sleeping.
Leafs are going to screw around and win the East, and the Bruins are going to get the second wild card.
Oh, that would be terrible.
That would be. It is downright likely.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Look at it.
the Lightning keep losing too, so you never know.
Oh, good, great. Like, really? Those are the options?
Yeah.
Like, are you freaking kidding me?
Or Montreal or Columbus.
Oh!
How did those series go?
You just listed the last 4 teams to beat the Leafs in the first round?
Yeah, the only other team we haven't mentioned is the Caps. And they're too good.
You mentioned the last 4 teams to beat the Leafs in the first round. Florida doesn't count because that was not the first round.
Yep.
Cool. Great. Glad those are the options.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Really fun.
Well, this is the thing. I was talking to somebody yesterday about this, and specifically about the Bruins. I was like, hey, I'm like, did they watch Elias Lindholm in the playoffs last year?
Or all of last season.
All of last season. I'm like, it's no disrespect to this guy, but at the end of the day, he wasn't good in Calgary, but he was running off of what he had done with Gaudreau and Tkachuk. Mm-hmm. And then they trade him for an enormous package to Vancouver. And Zadorov does well. Lindholm does not. Vancouver tries to trade Lindholm before the trade deadline. He is fine in the playoffs as a defensive guy, but he doesn't score much. Mm-hmm. And then they give him $60 million.
Adam, when Lindholm got nominated for the Selke in 2022, how many goals did he have?
40.
42.
Oh, okay.
What is the most goals he's had in a season since then?
22.
22! How many goals he has this season?
Oh, he's got like 8.
7.
Yeah.
I think you bought high.
Well, so what the person said to me was there's a cascade effect because they needed somebody at center. There wasn't really anybody else available unless you count like who went to Seattle. It was
Chandler Stevenson.
Yeah, and
that hasn't been the best either.
Right, and they also have a Chandler Stevenson in Pavel Zacha, right? A center who plays good defensive hockey, you know what I mean.
Charlie Coyle.
Yeah, and so they were looking
horrible center.
They were looking for a marquee guy.
Yeah.
One wasn't available, but they had to buy one. And I just thought, boy, like think about where we're at with Vancouver, and you got JT Miller and Elias Pettersson potentially available, one or the other, maybe both. Bruins can't make that trade right now.
How many players have how many players have 20 points or more on the Bruins?
Oh, that's a good question. I have no idea.
4. How many players have over 21 points?
Less than 4.
2.
Oh, no.
Pastrnak is still friggin' ridiculous. 42 points in 43 games, which is honestly still probably less than you expect for that money. Mm-hmm. Marchand has 32 and 43, which is, again, very good, but it's not the Brad Marchand we're used to because time catches all of us. And then it's Zacha with 21 points in 43 games. So he's less than half a point a game.
Yep.
Their third leading scorer is less than half a point a game. And Lindholm is 4th. So, we're criticizing Lindholm. He's still 4th. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's they got a miraculous performance out of Mark Kastelik. Hasn't really done a ton since then. I'm just looking at the Bruins and going, where's the answer?
Well,
every time this happens to them, they find one.
Well, some people are thinking it's is it I always pronounce
Patra?
Yeah, Patra or Lascelles.
Lascelles, I'm surprised hasn't
He
got.
played one game this year,
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't got more time.
but he's got 18 points in 28 games in the AHL. What is it again?
Patra.
18 in 21. And last year, he was a monster.
He has 1 goal in 14 games this season.
Yeah.
4 points.
But fans are pissed that he's not up because they're like, listen, whatever he had, it was probably mostly under Monty that he was playing anyway.
Yeah.
And
well, okay, that's fair.
So
that's fair.
Give him a shot.
That's definitely fair. But
like you're saying, oh well, he's only got 1 goal. Well, how about the guys that are making $8 million that have like 6 goals?
So what I would say is if a young player has 4 points in 14 games and we don't need to have him up and we have the option to put him in the A, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You're doing the right thing there. Now that you have a new coach, though, yeah, I think it's worth revisiting. You're totally right.
Well, it's
I would love for this to be a nanny boo boo segment, but we're legit trying
how
to
do we
figure
fix
it
the
out.
Bruins?
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out because we're, I don't know, trying to be impartial.
And you've got Swayman who missed training camp. And again, let's talk about the unforced errors here. Talking about the free agent signing, Lindholm. I was not a fan of the Elias Lindholm signing. Guys, you know how I felt about the Eunice Corpusalo coming back for. Like you could have had so many other goalies at so much less for so much less time, and he's giving you an 892. Swayman missing training camp is completely on Sweeney.
Yep.
But
Swayman's got an 893.
Yeah. Why do you think he's got an 893?
Yeah. No. But I guess what I'm saying is they're identical, basically.
Yeah.
You're getting the same performance out of, so Corpusalo is below league average, but keeping pace with your starter.
Yes. And your starter missed training camp. And therefore will have to play catch up all year.
He's got a better record than Swayman, too. He's above 500 at very least.
That's what I'm saying, man. Well, hello everybody. What did we think? Are we here for the Bruins downfall? Because I sure am. I'm here. I'm ready. I've been dreaming of this. What's that meme? I will be there no matter what. Watch, they're gonna go on like a 10-0 run. I hate it. They just never die. They never ever die. But anyway. So what else? Did I miss anything? I don't think I did. I ran to the bathroom, made myself a coffee. I'm ready for the second period, guys. I'm engaged. I'm pumped. William Nylander, by the way, I think that's his first goal in like 8 games. And he's second in league goal scoring. And that's his first goal in 8 games. Just shows you the kind of season William's having. He's having a good year. It's been a good year. Don't love the 17-second spread between the Robertson and Stahl goals. Don't think the Leafs do either. Kind of wonder what Berube would have told him in the intermission. By the way, things are not going well for Ottawa right now. Let's do a little out-of-town scoreboard here. The Sabres have 4 goals. The Senators have 0 goals. So that's not great. Bruins and Lightning are tied. Devils and Rangers are tied 2-2. Stars and Flyers 3-0. Penguins are up 5-2 on the Oilers. So at least the Oilers have scored because at one point it was 5-1. The Blue Jackets, who are, I saw someone in the chat say they are low-key a wagon. Yes, they are. 5-1 over the Kraken right now. Blues are up on the Ducks. The Wylde are losing to the Avalanche. That's actually a really key game to watch. And the Islanders and Golden Knights have not started yet. They're going to start at 10 o'clock tonight. So it's a good time. It's a good time out there. And listen, no offense to Ty Smith and our Senators fans who are always in the chat, but you know that I have to enjoy this a little bit, right? I have to enjoy this a little bit. A little bit. Imp. We got 1947 left on the clock here. Rennie says, I can tell you what Berube told him in intermission. Wake the F up. Okay, so Nye's got hit in the face. Is he bleeding? Oh. Is it 2 or 4? 2 minute. All right. Leafs go on the power play. Here's the thing. Carolina's got Is it the best one? It's the best penalty kill in the NHL. And the Leafs, as we all know, have struggled a little bit on the power play this year, surprisingly so. But, maybe this is the time to turn it around. Get your confidence against the best penalty kill in the league. And Tavares loses the draw, but the Leafs are in the corner, fighting along the boards. Stahl, it looks like, is going to clear it. Well, gets past Nylander, and all of a sudden we have a 2-on-1. And Stahl scored again. Jordan Stahl just scored a shorthanded goal, was basically unchallenged the entire way. Jordan Stahl has scored 2 goals tonight. Has Jordan Stahl scored at all this year? Jordan Stahl. Are we kidding, guys? Are we freaking kidding? That is horrible. He had 5 goals coming into this game. Holy moly. So that's the 5-forward power play the Leafs have been trying, and surprisingly, they're crap at defense. Wow. That is some embarrassing defending by Nylander and Marner. Listen, I know it's not their job, but holy moly, guys. That is so outrageously bad. I can only imagine the kind of state Steve must be in right now. Like, I'm happy because we're here and we're streaming and we're having a good time, but like, I'm not thrilled about this game. I'll be honest. I'm not thrilled about how this is going. Steve is probably in his basement apoplectic. It's a good thing that he's got those leather sofas. There's no hard corners. Tavares to Nylander. Maybe they can get a goal back here. And they score! Austin Matthews. What a weird game. Oh, man, and Austin really wanted that one. Man, has he ever been spectacular since coming back? Unbelievable. I'm going to look it up. Let's have a look at Austin Matthews since he's come back, because he didn't play for a bit there in December. But he had 3 points January 4th, 2 points January 5th, 2 points January 7th, which is Tuesday against Philly. And then today already has a goal. That's not a bad comeback. He has had 6 goals in 4 games since coming back. Yeah, he's good at hockey. Good at hockey. Damn. Kind of makes you sad that he's lost so many games to injury this year, because you feel like he might be on track for a ridiculous season again. Now, here's what I don't know, because this is not the way I thought this game was going to go at all. I don't know where this goes from here. Like, this, I would have thought would have been a tight checking, low scoring game. Instead, we've had high event. The Leafs mostly dominated the first period until they didn't. I think, and both goalies don't look that. I don't even know if I would even blame them for the goals. Like, they're just kind of goals that happen, right? I would blame more defensive breakdowns and that sort of thing. So, like, the goalies haven't even really been bad, and their save percentages are being shredded right now. I don't know. I'm not sure what to make of this. I don't know what this means, where they're going with it. Oh, got a super chat here. Jacob Fleener, Team Canada and the Leafs, are they similar? First round exits, offensive power, but can't score. Lineup questions, similar pool of executives. No, I don't think so, Jacob. I think Hockey Canada is. You have to look at Hockey Canada as more of like a governing body, whereas the Leafs are a private sector. I actually think what the Leafs have done this year has been great. And they did make a major change, and they got Treliving as GM, and then they got a new head coach. And so they've had major overhauls in the last couple of years. Whereas Hockey Canada, it's, guy who's been there 30 years. And listen, sometimes that's a good thing. Like, sometimes tenure is a good thing. But when you pick somebody for a performance position based on the amount of years they've been there rather than their track record, you're going to run into problems. Like, it can't be, oh, well, you're next up because you've been here for 17 years. No, you need to be next up because you're the best. You're the best choice. And Hockey Canada didn't do that with the coach, and they certainly didn't do that with the players that they brought to the tournament. Just unacceptable. I don't blame the players for much of it. I think, oh, weird bounce right in front of the net. Kochetkov was out, but no Leaf there to take advantage. I think that the Hockey Canada thing, I don't blame the players so much as I blame management. Listen, did the players have a great tournament? No. Did they have a completely flawed roster that probably was going to have a hard time scoring? Yeah, but people warned about that going in. There were people going, this is bizarre. Why is this happening? Before the tournament even started. And you may not remember that. It was the lead up to the holidays. I don't think, when you're seeing your family, you don't have a lot of time to read like pre-scouting notes and stuff like that. But that's what they were saying. Oh, Marner, nice. Here comes Matthews in. Tries to get in front of the net. OEL is there, but he's tied up. Back out to the point. Myers with the shot in, and Kochetkov has that. That first line is having a much better second period than I think that they had in the first. Like I think the first they were okay, but this is more like the first line that we know. Flozak says, heard a fan yell, drop the puck, and it reminded me of you. So true. I can't stand when a linesman is just sitting there holding the puck. Like, drop it. Drop the puck. This game is region blocked in Newfoundland. It's hard to watch a weeknight Leafs game at times. That is outrageous, and that shouldn't be the case. But the reason for that is it's considered a local game because TSN has it. And so you're not allowed to show it outside of the Southern Ontario region, which is, I mean, in today's day and age, they're just begging to have their feed stolen, right? That's where you have to go and you have to pirate the signal. It's ridiculous. I agree with you, but they're asking you to steal. I don't get it. As Hayden says, always a VPN. Strangely enough, we work with NordVPN. Use that promo code Dangle, 15% off. Just throwing that out there. Promo code Dangle. Matt Bruder can't watch the game in Ottawa. Well, you can. You can. It's just Andrew's asking me to not forget the clap. As in not that clap. The clap before the face-off. 16-16 left in the second period. I will give you the clap. Andrew, I will give you the clap. Bet you've never had somebody tell you that publicly before, but you will get the clap. Oh, I missed the clap. But to be fair, so did the camera. They kind of dropped the puck early. Linesman throwing us off tonight. 16:05 left in the second period if you're aligning streams. If you're on Yarm 80 Plus, you might already be aligned with me because I am also watching a digital feed, and they're always a few seconds behind what you would get with cable. That is kind of bonkers, eh? That there's no competing team in the Newfoundland region. Montreal doesn't have jurisdiction over Newfoundland, right? Like I can understand if it's Winnipeg and they want to protect the Jets. But like Newfoundland doesn't have an NHL team. I don't understand why you wouldn't be able to watch that. Sean Page already upset. We don't have more likes on this video. Well, maybe I need to give you the clap, everybody, before. I'm going to do it here. 15:32 left. Oh my God, they missed the face-off again, but I did clap. Man, that's 2 face-offs in a row. That's not even my fault. That's the camera truck. Hey, by the way, Maddie is working that camera truck tonight, so you can blame Maddie. It's actually her fault. Oh, Andrew Hayes, Newfoundland gets Habs and Sens regional broadcasts. Well, they should get Leaf ones too. Oh my God. Okay. Listen, we love Joseph Woll. We needed a save there. That is a terrible goal. That's terrible. That's embarrassing and bad. It just is. Bad Leafs defense, bad goaltending. This is just one of those games, man. With the premium Sportsnet package, you can watch out-of-region games, says Dan Patrick. That's true. And it's $80 million a month. Such a great price. Such great pricing. Definitely affordable. Yeah, like there's 3 Leafs back. Nobody takes... What are we doing here, guys? Yuck. That is yuck, that defense. Wow. Just poor coverage. Let's be honest. Boo hiss. Tomato, tomato. That goal scored by Jackson Blake. Jackson Blake is former Leaf Jason Blake's son. So that's a nice story. Except, no, it's not. Score against somebody else, Jackson, not against your father's former team. How dare you? Is that how you honor your father's legacy? Question needs to be asked. Michael Borland, I was hoping to get the clap tonight. Oh, I was hoping not to get the clap tonight. Well, Michael, unfortunately, actually, fortunately, you haven't got it yet. I think there might be a bit of a Philip Myers thing here. He kind of pushed Jordan Martinook a little bit. Rennie says this team is gross today. They are. This team is ruining my night. That's Steve's new book. Death Eater 91 says, even with Sportsnet Premium, it is blacked out in Newfoundland tonight. Yeah, see, that's a joke. Yarm 80 Plus, everybody. Yarm 80 Plus. They're begging you to steal it. They're asking you to. Wow. And as we said, the Leafs have lost their last 4 games against Carolina. It would be nice to break that streak tonight. 14-17 left in the second period. I forgot to clap again, but I'll keep giving out the time. 14-13, 14-12, 14-11, 14-10. Nylander to Tavares. Oh, great play. Nylander was able to beat out the defenseman there in spectacular fashion. Willie's got it tonight. He's wheeling. The Leafs just don't have it tonight. I don't think Joseph Woll's had it tonight. Everybody's entitled to a bad game every once in a while. I wouldn't even blame most of the first 3 goals against on him, but that last one, yeah, man, you need to save. Andrew Hayes says, anyone who has Bell 5 NHL Center Ice still somehow has free preview. That's how I'm watching. I thought the preview had ended. Well, Andrew, let's not tell the Bell people. Otherwise, they'll start charging you. Sedin Magic 15. It's like the NHL doesn't want to make money and expand the game. So the reason for regional broadcast, and I've said this before, is that there are teams in Canada that are concerned about being eaten up by other teams. So the Toronto Maple Leafs across the country are a huge draw. They just are. And it's just population size. And, people in Southern Ontario have moved to other parts of the country. Like when I was in Calgary, you go to a Calgary Leafs game, it's in Calgary, it's half Leaf fans, half Flame fans. Just is. Edmonton's not so much like that. But markets like, for a while, they had to protect Ottawa. They had to protect Winnipeg coming back into the league, even though there are hardcore Jets fans. There are just so many more people that are Leafs fans just by virtue of the fact that there's so many more people in Ontario. And the Flames, oddly enough, they have their hardcores, but Calgary sports culture is a lot different from Vancouver and Edmonton sports culture. Very, very different. And I don't know why that is necessarily the case. But there are protections in place. That's why they still do regional games. Is it outdated and stupid? Absolutely. Because I still think those teams would do just fine. But people are freaked out about it. Robert Bett, are we going to see another game like 2 years ago, Detroit 10-7? And why is Theo Fleury not in the Hall of Fame? I know it's a random question. A couple of guys not in the Hall of Fame. McGillney not in the Hall of Fame. Theo Fleury not in the Hall of Fame. McGillney, there was some sort of article posted by The Athletic like 6 months ago about McGillney. And I thought the argument was weak, but it was like, well, he wasn't like the main guy on any of the teams that did well. Bobby McMahon, by the way, is in the box for interference. 13:25 left in the second period. As far as Theo Fleury, I don't know. He's a Stanley Cup winner, playoff performer. Yes, he's an absolute nut job on Twitter, and it's a shame. But you have to remember that Theo Fleury, besides being a very, very good hockey player, was the first person along with Sheldon Kennedy. I think Sheldon Kennedy was the first, and then Theo followed it up. Theo exposed the dark underbelly of abuse in junior hockey. and went through horrific situations. So like I know he's like a weirdo on Twitter now, but I almost give him a pass because of the crap that he went through. Like it's super dark, and I'm not going to get into it here. And I think perhaps his persona is something that right now the Hockey Hall of Fame is like worried about putting him in front of a microphone. Is that fair based on his career and the good he did do for the game and the city of Calgary? And I don't know if that's right, but that's probably why. If we're being honest. Okay, here we go. I got a few super chats here too. Canadian Girl 83. I'll gift one more. I'll gift for another Nicky Bobby goal or another third line goal. I love it. I love it. Canadian Girl 83. I love it. Michael Borland. Why would they regionally block a Western team's broadcast for someone on the East Coast and vice versa? Again, they're protecting their markets. You don't need to protect the Oilers. They're always going to have there's no chance in hell that the Oilers aren't going to have a bazillion people watching them. There's no chance in hell that the Vancouver Canucks are not going to have a bazillion people watching them. But Canada is a sparsely populated country outside of Ontario, and they do need to protect certain markets. You know, you got to protect Ottawa from Montreal and from Toronto. You got to protect Winnipeg from everybody because they're the smallest city by far. That's the thinking. Cassie says Penn's going into the third with a 2-goal lead. Oh boy. Oh man, Cassie. What is it, 5-3 now? It was 5-1 at one point. Leafs doing a great job killing the penalty here. 11:36 left in the second period. If they can get some legs under them after killing this penalty, that would be nice. I think they need to tie this game up before they go into the third period because I think the goals that Carolina have scored and the way they've scored them have been a bit demoralizing. I haven't seen the Leafs quit. Oh, here we go. Here's Austin, 2-on-2 with Mitch. That's exactly what you want. Those are the people you want on the 2-on-2, but the Leafs are changing. Marner gets stopped up at the blue line, and he's pushed along the boards, although they've somehow managed possession. High stick, but the Leafs are not the first team to play it, so the whistle does not go. Nylander behind the net, back out there. There's Morgan Riley. Out to the point. Nobody on the Carolina point man. Orlov with the shot. Wall with the save. Super chat texted to me. I know the NHL won't, but can we get the World Junior cameras for the refs? I want them bad. Would make the refs, but it would make the refs have to call penalties too. So the NHL did do this. People forget, but when Sportsnet got the rights to NHL games, they had a couple of things that they innovated. The first thing was they had those cameras. If you watch the NFL at all and you see the camera going across the field of play or going up and down, and it's this overhead angle and stuff, it's an amazing angle. Those cameras are suspended on wires, and they're run from one end of the arena to the other. And Sportsnet had those, and they're an absolute fortune. They're a fortune to buy those and to hang them and all that stuff. And I guess at the end of the day, Sportsnet figured, well, we can save money here. The angle doesn't really change the hockey game, and so on and so forth. Because Sportsnet has been it's been very challenging for them to make money on the hockey rights based on how much they paid for them. They paid a fortune for them. Hayden's got pricing for sky cams in the NFL. What a niche thing to have. Hayden, what do we have? So the cost to string those up and to have the camera there, because remember, they usually don't buy these cameras themselves. They'll rent them from a company, is $30,000 per game. $30,000 per game. So Sportsnet probably figured, yeah, we don't need it. I get that. It sucks for us, but I get it. It's $30,000. It's a lot. The NFL has a lot less games. So that price is fixed. Doesn't cost them as much. When you got 82 of them, well, or you got, I don't know, 20 Saturdays during the regular season, that $30,000, that starts to add up, man. Are you really for every team, for all 7 Canadian teams, you're going to spend $30,000 times 20? That's a lot. So they also though had the ref cams, which is what the original question from James David Atkinson was from. And I remember when they did them. I don't know if you guys remember this too. They would start the game and it would be a face-off, and then the camera operator in the truck, like the director, would go to the ref cam, and the ref's head would be pointing down at the ice, but the camera was in a way that you couldn't actually see the puck drop. So they kept going to the ref when the puck was being dropped, and they kept missing the shot. And it was like, this is insane, guys. Like, and people started to complain. I remember I complained about it. I was like, I want to see the face off. It's nice that you got these cool toys to work with, but could you maybe perfect them first before actually running them on TV? And I think, frankly, it was probably, again, just another added expense. When you look at the World Juniors, the double IHF's going, well, we only have X amount of games. And for the Canada games, yeah, we'll put the ref cams on and it costs us this much, but it's worth it. Because Canada, the USA, Sweden, Finland, those are going to pay for that. When it's January 9th and it's a Thursday and it's Toronto, Carolina, maybe that price doesn't make sense. Maybe you can make more money by just simply running a traditional broadcast. And again, you're probably like, well, what, that's kind of crap that they're just worried about the bottom line. But remember, Sportsnet's paying like $700 million American dollars this year for these hockey rights because it was on a sliding scale. It was a $5 billion purchase over 12 years that started at like 250 million American. And that's when the Canadian dollar and the American dollar were on par. Now we're 65% of what the American dollar is. And that sliding scale keeps going up and up and up and up and up. It's really tricky to make more money, or it's really tricky to make money. So you cut back where you can. I think that's why it is. There's my way too long answer. Justin, hey chat, is it KD or macaroni and cheese? Man, the KD is winning. That's crazy. I love a KD, by the way. You know what? I like I'll be honest with you. Here's what I like. If I'm eating macaroni and cheese, it's the white cheddar President's Choice. Snaps, poetry snaps for white cheddar President's Choice mac and cheese. It's the best one. Now, if I'm eating craft dinner, I like the extra cheesy. And what I will do is I can get it like a normal craft dinner box. And I'll get like cheese, like shredded cheese. But what I also like is when tomatoes are in season, you dice up a fresh tomato and put it in the, oh my God. It's so much better than ketchup on it. So much better. So delicious. Oh, Canadian Big Mac says highly suggest KD and chopped crispy bacon bits. Ooh. Ooh. Robert Bet, after 5 games, maybe the Leafs know that Steve needs a freak out on LFR. Maybe they do. I mean, they are on a 5-game winning streak. I'd like it to go to 6. They've played great. I don't think this is a freak out night, to be honest with you. Which is kind of cool, right? Like they haven't given Steve a ton of reasons to freak out this year. Been a couple of one takers, but that's any NHL season. Oh, Justin Fisher, Matheson Food Company, as in Matty Matheson. Cracked pepper mac and cheese. Oh, baby. Talk dirty to me. Pepper on mac and cheese, doesn't matter what it is. Pepper on it's like perfect. Pepper tastes the most peppery on mac and cheese for some reason. Nyes and Marner in. Marner with the shot, misses the net, but a good play. Good play. I like that play. There's Matthews. Oh, boy. We got another penalty, and I think it is Matthews. Thews from the 6. James David Atkinson. Okay, so put those cameras on like a Leafs and Oilers game or a big playoff game like Leafs in Boston with some extra angles, and there can still be cost effective. It can. Guys, if I told you how much it costs to buy 30 seconds of airtime on Hockey Night in Canada, you'd fall over. You would fall over. You wouldn't believe it. But remember, the goal is to maximize profit. So if you spend more, even when you're making more, that's not maximizing profit, which is why they're not doing it. But I agree with you. It'd be sweet. I bet when Amazon takes over the national rights, because I really think that they will, I think Amazon is just because none of this matters to them. They're just they could spend a fortune and it's not even going to be a blip for them. The amount of money Amazon has for sports production is just beyond what you can imagine. And Rogers has to worry about stuff like that. Amazon just doesn't. It's just too big. Hayden says as long as Netflix doesn't get any games. I heard the Monday Night Raw thing went well. Like I heard there was no issues with the stream. They seem to be getting better at live programming. Hayden says they're 1 for 3. What are you talking about? The Love Is Blind reunion too? Oh, Tyson Paul was bad. Yeah, yeah, and the football thing wasn't great. The Love Is Blind reunion, Hayden. Listen, I don't imagine that Hayden watches Love Is Blind, but I do, and I will tell you that was frustrating because it was supposed to be a live show and they couldn't get the live feed up, and then they had to record it and post it. It was bizarre. Pickleball Pat wants to know how much for 30 seconds on Hockey Night in Canada. Well, I can tell you that in the playoffs, for a 30-second commercial, it's I believe in the playoffs, it might even be more than this, but like first round, we're talking $75,000. One 30-second spot, $75,000. That's not a sponsorship. You know, when you see like, oh, blah, blah, blah segment brought to you by GMC, that's a sponsorship. That's different. That's double. But one 30-second spot, $75,000. It's crazy. And think about how many commercials you see in a commercial break. Now, that's not what it would be tonight. Tonight's not like that. But, you know, TV is still immensely profitable if you do it properly. I love the craft dinner takes happening in the chat right now. While I was going on about stupid cameras and cost and all that, you guys were like, you know what? Craft dinner. I'd rather talk about that. I know I get a little I get nerdy about that stuff because I find it really interesting, and that's sort of in a very tiny scale what we do at SDPN, right? Like we're producing content, so you get interested in stuff like that. But let's be honest, universally, mac and cheese is a better topic, and I should have probably gone there first. SDPN. Okay, chat. If we can raise $75,000 in the super chats tonight, we'll run an ad for SDP in the playoffs. Yeah, man. Yeah. Cassie says, "Oh, Adam, I forgot to mention. I told my family one of the things that you said to me was that you heard my PA accent in my voice, and it made them laugh." Cassie has a little bit of the Yinzer accent. Yins guys from Pittsburgh. If you've never heard of that, that is the Pittsburgh accent. If you want to go downtown, that's how they say it. And there's also a really funny YouTuber named Pittsburgh Dad that I used to watch videos from just to hear his accent on things. So if you want to hear something how people from Pittsburgh talk, look up Pittsburgh Dad. Hilarious. Send it to me, Hayden. Text it to me. Oh, Chantel Zeller. I'm a celiac. Annie slaps. Annie's mac and cheese is underrated. You don't have to be celiac to enjoy that. That is like, and their white cheddar is actually delicious. Richard Trufino. Adam is the SDP VIP of streams. Minimal hockey talk, but entertaining as hell. Well, listen, the Leafs are losing, and I'm upset about it, and I'm trying to ignore that. I'm burying my feelings. Robert Bett. It's like the Leafs PK was getting as bad there as their power play. Yeah, it's not great. Andrew Hayes, is that 75,000 for multiple airs of the same ad during different commercial breaks, or is it each time it's aired? Andrew, it's each time it's aired. 30 seconds, 75 grand. Now, there's a lot of stuff that plays into that, you see, because you've got you might maybe so if I'm an advertiser and you're running a company like SDPN and you promise me that you're going to get me 700,000 viewers on a video, and you underdeliver that. I, as the advertiser, am then entitled to what's called a make good. So a lot of times, sometimes your inventory goes to making up the difference between what you should have delivered and what you did deliver. So it doesn't mean, so every spot is sort of different. Sometimes you have other things that have underperformed, and then you're putting them in the playoff game so they overperform so the client is happy. So maybe on that spot, you make $0. But the reality is most of the time, that's where they harvest their money. Jake Nile, Adams, you is going to the Heinz Field for the Stiller game. Be careful, it's slippy out, and make sure you red up the house. That's good. I didn't even do a good job of that, Jake. I did not do a good job of that. 450. Oh, I clapped and the stupid linesman didn't drop it. Here we go. Here we go. It's a face-off. Oh, good save by Wylde there on Natchez. The dichotomy of Joseph Wylde tonight. Some great saves and then some wacky doodle goals. Cassie says, in my defense, it was not as thick as it was since I was away. I've been away for work since April. Now, if we're talking Jan to March of last year, it gets thick. That's the thing about people from Pittsburgh, and my mother's one of them. They go back and it just sort of appears out of nowhere. You go from talking like we do in Southern Ontario to, yins guys. It's the best. I love it. Cosmo Kramer, Adam literally just gave me the clap. I gave you all the clap tonight. All 581 of you. And that is for not, I know there's 200 of you that have not yet liked this video. You must like this video. Otherwise, you're getting more clap. Okay? Canadian Girl 83. Here's to starting the SDPN fund for playoffs advertising. I bet we would make Adam and Steve tear up. Yeah, you would. $75,000. Oh my God. That's such an outrage. You have to have a huge audience for that. Like, it's not worth it. I'll be honest with you. Like, these advertisers, when they advertise with Sportsnet or with TSN or Amazon, like, they are getting their money's worth. They are. Because you have to imagine, like, for a Leafs playoff game, there could be 2 million people watching. So $75,000 to reach 2 million people is actually kind of a steal. And it's interesting because it's so much better in quality than like a Google ad or a Meta ad. It's just like, it is actually one of the best ways to advertise. It really is. You take something people love, you put a good commercial in it. Something about live sports, man. It's the best. Justin says, check my fin. Emily, hi Adam. Could I get you to give my husband a shout out? This is a super chat. He's a huge fan of everything SDPN and Leafs. He also currently is listening to this video and doesn't know I'm doing this. Well, Emily, the only problem I have is that I don't know your husband's name. But Emily's husband, I want you to know that your wife loves you and that she's pretty cool and that you married a good one, that she's on this stream asking me to get you a shout out. I think that's pretty cool. So big cheers to you guys for having a great marriage. And whatever it is you're doing right now while you're listening to this stream, I hope you're enjoying it. Learning about advertising. Spaceman. Specimen. Adam, can you make SDPN commercials include the Grippers clip from your playoff stream last year? If we get $75,000 to buy a commercial in the first round of this playoff season on Sportsnet, I will absolutely include my feed in that. Are you kidding me? Nothing would make me happier than having our commercial run and then Ron McLean having to introduce Hockey Night in Canada afterwards. Wouldn't that be the best? That'd be the best. You know what? How much of the 30 seconds should the feet take up? That's a good question, too. It'd be the best. I actually think we could have if we had that kind of money, which we don't, I think we could have some fun with our commercials. Like, really, could be a good time. James David Atkinson, if the NHL was smart, they'd sell the rights to small hockey countries like the UK and Amazon, and people will get the chance, plus way better than current options. So James, interestingly, we had I don't know if he's here tonight, but I had a listener from one of these chats DM me, and he's in Czechia. And I guess there's a gambling company there that owns the rights to the NHL in Czechia, or is one of the groups that does. And because I think you can buy NHL packages internationally if you want them. And this gambling company basically says if you make a €1.60, so it's like $1.60, but in euros, a €1.60 bet, just one, you can watch any game you want on their platform, which I think is it's a pretty sweet deal. So he's like, yeah. So instead of buying the NHL package, that should be Chatfield should be going to the box. Yeah, he's going to the box. Bye-bye. Yeah, Chatfield, what are you Chatfielding about with the ref? Get in the box. That's a trip. Rod the Bod doesn't like it. Well, Rod, you and that gray little tuft at the front are just going to have to deal with it. So yeah, you can get like weird deals in smaller countries. Jake Nile. When the Pens won their last cup, my dad legitimately put Stush, which is an old Pittsburgh nickname for Stanley Cup. Stush Yins come home Nat. Oh my God. I wish the chat could do voice notes. 6 foot wide, 4 feet high on his van. We are a funny bunch in the Burgh. Yeah, guys, if you get the chance, please go to Pittsburgh. It's a really great city. Go watch a baseball game. Go watch a football game. Go watch a hockey game. I've never been to PBG Paints, but I have seen baseball games there, and I've seen football games there, and I just love that city. Oh, Nylander shot. Good one, too. It's all 5 forwards on the power play again. This cost them earlier because Jordan Stahl got a shorty. I do think they need to score here. I think this is going to be really, really important for the third period. Other than the obvious, I think this is like a mental thing. Kochekov with a good little rebound cover there. A lot of goalies, that would have been a rebound. Kochekov did a great job covering that up. Oh, Koji says it's called Tip Sport, and it's in Slovakia and Czechia. There you go. And Koji, can you tell us how much you actually have to bet? Robert Bet. Wall is a true leaf. Bad start, great finish. Yeah. Matthews in the corner. Out to the point. That's Marner. Bit of a weak pass through, but he's okay. Slavin blocks John Tavares' pass. Man, I got to tell you something. I have a man crush on Jake Slavin. I love the way he plays hockey, and I hate when the Leafs have to play him. He's very good. Cassie says, Jake is right. Yinzers are like werewolves. The moment you pass through the tunnel, the accent just reappears like a werewolf on a full moon. It's true. It's true. Okay, we got 50 seconds in the period, 50 seconds on the power play. All right. Jared Martin with a really great shirt idea. I watched an SDPN stream and all I got was the clap. Ha ha! That actually has legs. Oh, here we go. Another 2-on-1. And Seth Jarvis does not score, which is good. Now we got a 2-on-1. Nylander Tavares. Bad pass by Nylander. Damn it. And it looks like we got an almost breakaway here. Oh, and it's off the post. Oh my God. That is some Sheldon Keefe 2022 back and forth hockey right there. I have not seen that in a while. That is not the way the Leafs play hockey now. I don't think Berube is going to like that. 5 seconds to go in the period. The power play is over. Carolina kills another one, and boy, they're doing a great job killing them. Damn. That was a lot. That was a lot of high event hockey. And I don't know if the Leafs have fully forgotten how to play it, but there sure are a lot of new guys on the roster who didn't play it with them like this last year. Man, that Matthews goal was really great. They just showed a clip of it on TSN. Wow. Okay, so We are going to play a little intermission clip. And Hayden, what do we got? This is actually kind of fitting. Totally fitting for how the period went. By the way, Wonder Davey says, True Chaos, giving Steve a soundboard during his streams. You all refuse. That's why you make him stream from home, isn't it? Yes, we do not give Steve a soundboard because that would be... Trust me, he was on Tim and Sid once as a fill-in host, and Sid, for whatever reason, gave him the soundboard to just fire it off. Bad call, man. Bad call. He just kept firing it. Jake says, okay, legit discussion question. Thoughts on the Leafs players and the tax situation. Explanation as to what's happening. Well, Jake, it's real simple. You get taxed differently on a bonus than you do on income tax here in Canada. And the CRA, Canadian Revenue Agency, is arguing that bonuses are regular income, and the players are arguing that no, they're not. They're bonuses, and they are structured as bonuses. But if the CRA wins this dispute, and there's no guarantee that they will, it's going to be a lot harder for Canadian NHL teams to sign any free agent. Really, really hard. So we'll see how that goes. But I think that the problem is Canada spent a ton of money during the pandemic to make sure the economy kept going, and they need to get money back. And we're running a crazy deficit right now. I'm not trying to get political, but that's what's happening. So the CRA is trying to find ways to bring revenue in. I don't know. I'm not a tax lawyer. I don't know which way it's going to go. But I do not love the idea that it's harder to sign free agents in Canada. It's already hard enough. Hey, okay, so Hayden, give it to me again. What are we talking about here? Oh, it's the are the Leafs lucky or are the Leafs good? This is sort of perfect. So let's go to that, and I will see you at the beginning of the third period.
Let me just run just the shots by you. 32 for Philly, 17 for the Leafs.
Yeah.
Usually when you look at that, you go, that's not great, and they got away with one. And perhaps they did. Joseph Wall made some great saves towards the end of the game.
Sure. Oh, definitely.
The Flyers doubled them up in shots. It's not like it was score effects at that point. The Flyers were up from the beginning.
It's all strategic by the Leafs.
Tell me about that.
Yeah,
tell me about
Jesse's.
that.
I think Jesse's right.
That's how they wanted to play last night.
I think the first period was shit.
Yeah, no. First period was dog shit.
Yeah.
The first period was dog shit, and they were very lucky to get that early goal in the second and make it 1-1. And they're like, okay, it was JT who scored that first goal, and it's like we got some legs. We came out after that first intermission where we looked awful, but we stymied that storm. We got through that, and we only down 1-0. Now we've tied it. Now we know we're not really good tonight. Let's just play defense, and the guys can just get one, they can get two, and we can win this game.
Right around when the Leafs took the lead for the first time, the shots were close to even. Mm-hmm. And if I'm not mistaken, the shot attempts were even closer.
Right.
To even. And that's after a first period where you were not in it. Mm-hmm. Then the Flyers, with the power play, with score effects, start running away with it. That's why I think the total looks so shit. So it was a combination. The first period was terrible. And they were, I think, fortunate to get out of it down 1-0.
Yes.
After that, it was 35 pretty tight minutes, I thought. 35 pretty... Dog shit opening 20. Tight 35. Score effects. I think that's basically what happened.
You think that's the game?
That's the game.
Okay.
I even said this in the LFR. I'm like, if you only watch the highlights for this game, you will definitely be under the impression the Leafs were horrible all night. First period, bottom 5 first period in the season, indefensible. After that, it was fine.
Now, there's a lot of adjustment going on with Leaf fans with this, because I do think, for me anyway, I like the way the Leafs are playing this year more than I've liked them in the Matthews era. This is my favorite brand of hockey that they've played in the regular season.
It's less fun.
I think it's more fun.
Yeah?
Because what I hated about the Babcock and then the Keefe eras were we're going to get pushed around and we're going to skate off. Mm-hmm. You can push us around.
Yeah.
And I fucking hated that. Now, I embraced it at the beginning, But as I've told many times, Game 3, Boston, Tavares gets shook by Marchand
Hated
and
that.
skates away. And I'm like, could we show some emotion, please? It's the playoffs.
But they played the playoffs comes around, and that's always the problem. They played fun regular season hockey. These guys are playing the hockey that you need to play to win. It's different.
Because there's a lot of people who are like, well, they're scoring a lot less goals. That's really concerning. What do you guys say to that?
They're allowing a lot less. You could. Is it better to have 10 goals?
There's a lot of people who would tell you that their first place right now in the Atlantic is a mirage.
Mm-hmm.
That they are on the verge of collapse, and all the teams need to do is figure them out, and it's going to happen.
Okay. I don't think this is 2013. Like, I don't think they're right.
Well, there is comparisons being made by some more extreme members of the analytics community. Like, well, they're playing like they did when they let Reimer hit 40 shots a game.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, tell me why. I have to bring this up because there are conversations happening, right?
That team got shelled every damn night. Every night. They were the second best team almost every single time they took the ice. They could get 20 to 25 shots a game, score 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the goals per game comparison is, but I'm willing to bet the 2013 team scored more. Reimer got a Hart vote.
1.
2013. 1.
What place?
But he got one.
5th.
Oh, fifth. He got a fifth place hard vote.
That's nice.
It was I want to say it was oh man, it was a Penguins writer. He got out of hockey writing a long time ago. Shoot, I forget. But he got a hard vote. He was unbelievable. Now, Stollers was one of the best goalies in the league. Mm-hmm. Whoa. He's been a very, very good goalie for this team. They've got wins out of Matt Murray. They've got wins out of Dennis Hildeby.
If they're not careful, Artur Akhtomov might trip and fall into an NHL win this year.
Man. But this is a tight brand of hockey. They play a lot of tight games. They're not blowing leads. When the Leafs went into the third period with a lead in 2013, I've never seen footage of World War I. But it was artillery, like what I imagine artillery to be.
Right.
And just hiding in a trench and waiting for them to run out of missiles. It's a miracle. Sportsnet forced me to watch Game 7 for an article. Game 7 2013 for an article. The Bruins, I think the Leafs should have taken the Bruins to court for letting them get to 7 and getting their hopes up because it was mean. If you watch Game 1,
They were playing with their food a little bit?
it should have never been close. It should have never been close. That series should have been over in 3. That team should not have even made the playoffs. The end result, like for last night, was the Leafs got outshot. For sure. I understand. This is, maybe it's an age thing. I don't know. This is nothing like 2013.
Okay.
Nothing. They were bad. They were straight up bad. They were the second best team nearly every game that season. This season, they have bad periods. They have bad stretches for sure. They play tight hockey. It's tight. They play in competitive games, whether they win or they lose.
Now, Austin Matthews being back, gentlemen, has led to I don't even know how many points in the last 3 games. But
He was nearly a point a period.
Yeah. This concern that we had has all of a sudden gone out the window.
When he first came back, he didn't look like this. He looks totally different.
He didn't look like this in December.
He didn't look like this at all.
Does it change your opinion of him playing in the Four Nations?
Listen, if he wants to play, he's gonna. And I still stand by what I said. At the end of the day, it is still 3 or 4 games. That's not so many games.
That's not so many games.
It's not so many games. It's what I said before is I think the experience gained at the Four Nation face-off for Matthews, who's never been deep, and Nylander, who's never been deep, and Marner, who's never been deep. Hakanpää has been deep. I think the experience gained for those 3 guys is going to be one of the most valuable experiences of their professional lives. I'm just worried. I'm just worried about the guy. But like, there's nearly 40 games left this regular season. Matthews could get hurt in any one of them.
Jesse, what do
And
you
I'm
think?
going to worry about 3 or 4 games. I don't know.
With the Leafs playing a bad style of hockey in their 2013 Leafs, I think it also adds to the Matthews conversation, because through a lot of the stretch of this season, they didn't have Austin Matthews.
Yes.
And I feel like that is an important factor when looking at how the numbers that the Leafs had in the fall. Like, he wasn't healthy, and
They didn't have Max Domi for a month.
right, they didn't have a lot of these guys that are in this lineup right now. They've had a ton of injuries, and through all of those injuries, they've come out first in the division, tied for the first place in the Eastern Conference. I don't know how you look at that and you try and spin it into a something negative. You know, I feel like it's a very positive season so far for the Leafs. It's been drama free in terms of off ice issues, and the on ice stuff has been injuries. You know, it's been Matthews and his back, and now he, with the 7 points in 3 games that he's been back, like, everything appears to be fine. And if this is just the element you're adding to a team that was already playing really well through November, it seems like it's going to be a good second half of the season for them as well.
Matthews is going to give you... We talked about this before the season began. He had 69 goals last year. 69! Way better than nice. Friggin' elite! And I go, if he takes a step back at all, like let's say he scores 50, you're a 19 shy. You might be lucky. You might be lucky to get 40.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say he gets 39. You're down 30 goals. And the team's better in the standings. That's not just luck.
No.
Okay, so Hayden wanted me to lead with this, and I can see why. It's trivia. And this is a stat that they started tracking back in 2005, 2006, aka my graduation year from high school. Can you believe that? That's when I graduated. I used to be a young man. That was a long time ago. Anyway, the thing that they started tracking in 2005, 2006 was ice time, at least on a league level. I know that they always tracked some sort of ice time, but I think it went from like team level to league level at that point. Now, who is the NHL's all-time leader in ice time? And you have to think that it's probably somebody that has played a lot of hockey and is a veteran and is probably still playing right now, or maybe. I actually don't have the answer in front of me, which is hilarious. The person leading the NHL in ice time this season, to give you an idea, is Zach Werenski. He's played over 1,000 minutes, almost 1,100 minutes in 41 games. The NHL forward that leads the NHL in ice time this season is Nathan MacKinnon, 947 minutes in 41 games. So you expect that this is going to be a defenseman, right? Defensemen usually play a lot more than forwards do. They have to skate a little bit less. Kind of makes sense. And the question then becomes, who is it? Now, if you'd asked me 5-6 years ago, I would have been like Duncan Keith, because he used to play sometimes as much as 30 minutes. Erik Karlsson was another guy, at least in the playoffs, man. He used to play like 30-minute nights. Hedman has done that for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I would think that this would have to be a very, very good defenseman who plays power play, who kills penalties, and is a key member of the 5-on-5. That's who I think. Now, what do you guys think? So we got Suter, Chelios, Burns, Doughty, Ray Bourque, Warrior One, back when Adam had frosted tips. No, my frosted tips era was 2000 to 2002. Shea Weber is a good idea. Nicholas Lindstrom. I wondered about that, but then I thought Lindstrom played he played before that, but 05, 06 to didn't he retire in 2010, 2011? So, we've had a decade since then. Somebody must have surpassed him, right? Duncan Keith, John Carlson. Oh, Chara. Oh, David Williamson. I think you might have nailed it. I'm ready for the answer. So I said Duncan Keith. Hayden says that Duncan Keith is third all time. So that was good. That was a good guess. Okay, Hayden, who's second all time? Chara is 7th all time. This is all time on ice leaders, like ice time leaders. The stat started to be tracked in 0506. So it would have to be a defenseman who has played from 0506 in between 0506 and now, which is a 19 season gap. So go ahead, Hayden. Second place is currently playing in this game it's Brent Burns. Wow. Who started off as a forward, by the way. I'm old enough to remember Brent Burns on the Minnesota Wild, Hayden's team, as a forward. Okay, last one. Ryan Suter, who is also Ryan Suter is number one, by the way. Ryan Suter. So anybody guessed Ryan Suter? Congratulations, you're right. And Ryan Suter is also the oldest player in the NHL, if I'm not mistaken, this year at 39 years old, playing for the St. Louis Blues. I think this might be his last year, but he is the oldest skater in the league this year. Crazy. Frank Suffern. Is it Nick Robertson? It is not. It is not. But, we wish Nick the best with that in his quest to become. Okay. So we got a game starting here soon. And we got a third period that, well, it's been a bit of an up and down game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Carolina Hurricanes have to be happy. We had Canes fans in the chat before this game going, oh, this should be an easy win for the Leafs. They've been extremely mid lately. So have the Leafs. They've had some real mid moments. They've had some great moments. They've had some bad periods. The Leafs, though, have the talent to go, okay, we're going to win this game now. We're going to turn it on for 20 minutes and we're going to win this game. We'll see. We'll see. Apparently the Bruins are just having a bad night. I just want to zoom in on their score for a second. It's interesting because if you look at the game, it doesn't look that bad. It looks like the Lightning are up 2-1, but Bruins fans are tweeting like they're pretty mad. So you kind of have to wonder about that. I'm going to have a look at that game after this. Man, so Brady Tkachuk took out Jason Zucker, and Matthew Tkachuk took out Kesselring, put him right into the stanchion between the broadcaster's booth on the ice and his own bench. And Kesselring's head, he drives his head right into the stanchion. Well, he doesn't drive his head in. He drives his shoulders in, but Kesselring's really hurt. So both Tkachuk brothers just on an injury tear tonight. Not entirely surprising. That's the way they play hockey. But it's not great. It's not great. We don't love it. Okay. By the way, for anybody that missed it, if you're a Jays fan, Vlad Guerrero signed in his pre-arbitration contract today. He will make $28.5 million this year, so he's under contract for the 2025 season. However, still doesn't have that long-term deal. So that's spooky and scary and not fun. They also signed Dalton Varsho and Zach Pop. Oh, boy, the Leafs just allowed a goal. All right, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. That's one where you need a save as well. 20 seconds into the period, that's just a point shot that Joseph Woll needs to have. That is a hat trick for Jordan Staal, who had 5 goals coming into this game. Jordan Staal, whoever took him on a betting app to score a hat trick tonight, just made a down payment. That is bonkers. Yuck. That's frustrating, guys. I'm not going to lie. It's his 3rd career hat trick, according to Hayden. And his first since the 2021-22 season. Yuck. Now, the Toronto Maple Leafs have an opportunity here to go and score some goals, and win this game. But like, this is a team that they have not beaten in the last 5 games. So basically all of last season. You got to beat these guys. And, eventually you lose games, but it would be nice for the Leafs to put together a longer winning streak. Oh, man, that's frustrating. And you know what, man? Joseph Woll and Anthony Stolarz have bailed these guys out a lot this year. Occasionally, a goalie's going to have a bad game. This happens to be a game where I wouldn't even call it bad. It's just not great. Like bad, we've seen bad. We've had Sammy. No disrespect to Sammy. When he was good, he was great. But when he was bad, he was horrible. Peter Mrazek. Brutal in Toronto. Brutal. We've seen bad. This is just not Joseph Woll at the top. Look at all those hats, by the way. Carolina fans just thrilled right now. They are a great group of fans, man. You cannot deny Carolina's got some great fans. $19:31 in the third. So Leafs need a lot here. And this is where Carolina's defense, I would expect, will take over. They're going to try to they're going to go gum up the neutral zone and just grab the puck, fire it back into the Leafs zone. Leafs are going to take it back out. Carolina's going to intercept it, fire it back in. This could be a boring period on the Leafs unless the Leafs find a way to break it open. McMahon with a shot, kind of like a weak backhand. A good play there. The Leafs get an offensive zone faceoff. Again, we're only 1 minute into the third period. Carolina scored 20 seconds into this period. One of my pet peeves, man. You allow a goal in the first or last minute of a period. I hate that. I know what happens. I hate it. Because most of the time it comes down to focus. Are you engaged or are you not engaged? That's what it usually is. And frankly, a couple times tonight, the Leafs have looked like brain fart city. Don't love it. Don't love it, guys. Don't love it. Allie writes, the Leafs gave Jordan Stahl a Hattie in 2025. I know. Allison wrote that when he scored his first goal, they're like, you gave Jordan Stahl a goal? What's wrong with you? David Williamson, I kind of had this as a scheduled loss tonight. Would be interesting to know records for dad and mentor trips. Well, that's the thing. It's the mentor trip. They shouldn't have it as a scheduled loss. You flew Joe Thornton and his beard out. That's 2 plane tickets. Marchand got the hockey version of body slammed in the ice tonight, too. Really? Really? Penguins win 5-3. Congratulations to all of our Yinzers in the chat. We're thrilled for you. That's big. It's big to beat Edmonton. That's a powerhouse team. This third line, which hasn't done much since the first period, they were very effective in the first. Robertson had the goal. He's looking there for an outlet. James David Atkinson. Czechia is £1.20 a month. The UK is 150 pounds per year, bruh. For hockey, I think it's Czechia is £1.20 per game. I think it's £1.50, or sorry, not a pound, €1.50 per game. It's not a. I think the monthly subscription would be different. I could be wrong. Robert Bet, lots of time. Have faith, Gripper Nation. Gripper Nation never loses faith and never doesn't have a great time. Man, that Kochetkov save with his skate. I bet his skate is now like dull because of that puck. Frank says, Adam, how are you keeping your grippers warm this season? Well, I got some new socks for Christmas, and I actually did want them. They're like a little bit higher top, so not only are my socks keeping my toes warm, they're keeping my ankles warm too, and we like that. Oh yeah, chat, are ankle socks in or out? Because I only had ankle socks because they were in for a long time, and now apparently they're out. Cassie says, time to crack out the goal summoning circle. Maybe time to crack out the whatever the Penguins had for breakfast circle. because they played a good game tonight. I'm upset. Hey, is anybody watching the Bruins game? Adam Tipsport is monthly $1. Sorry, 120 euro. That's crazy. Wow. And it's 150 pounds a month to watch NHL in the UK. Okay, cool. Well, I guess I'll look up a free stream then. That's insane. That's a crazy amount of money. That's crazy. That's not growing the game prices. All right, everybody's getting their candles out. Goal summoning circle. Candles. Also, please tell me, need to know if anybody's watching that Bruins game, are they actually bad? Boston is losing, goalie pulled. Oh, Nick Robinson with a nice move at center. Over to Domi. Domi gets it in, and it goes right to Kachekov's glove. Allie says my candles are for the Canes. Allie. No, Allie. Jeff says my candles are for the Bruins to score. Jeff, no. It's a goal summoning circle for the Leafs only, sir. Only we may score. Oh, it looks like Tampa scored. Wow. Wow. All right, go ahead. Read it to me, Hayden. So Matthews and Marner are -5 tonight. Whoa. Marner's -4. Sorry, Nyes is -4. Matthews, Marner -5. Oh my God, that's terrible. I can understand what Hayden actually said. He's like, I have a stat I must read to you. I have to read this to you. I'm like, okay, that's rough, dude. Ugh, yuck. Bad night for the first line. And it's interesting. Can you look up Tanev and Riley? Because I'd like to know how they're doing. Ty Smith. Matthews is the problem. Ty Smith's next comment's going to be, you should trade him to Ottawa. So Riley and Tanev are -2. Well, that's not quite -5, but that's bad. Oh, Chantel says Matthews has a goal, though. How does that work? Chantel makes a good point. So the score and Sportsnet both have him at -5. It was a power play goal. Yes, it was a power play goal. Where plus minus doesn't count. People don't know that. But plus minus is only a 5-on-5. Kraken pull Grubauer against Columbus tonight. Cries. Oh, man. You might as well not play Grubauer. Oh, come on. Oh, what a save by Kochekov. Great little play between Marner and Tavares there. I think, unless I'm mistaken, I think Mr. Berube has switched up the lines a little bit, and he probably should. Foreign Leafs are +1 tonight. Can we name them? I'm going to say Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I am going to say Max Domi. No, Max Domi was on the ice for that goal. Bobby McMahon. And Connor Timmins. Timmins, McMahon, Domi, and Lorentz. Ha! See? You guys think when I'm just yapping away that I'm not watching the game. I'm watching the game. I'm watching the game. That was impressive. You got to give me that. I feel good. I got to tap myself on the back for that one. That's a personal win. Hollow Point 5557. OEL blows tonight. No, the first line blows tonight. Matthews and Marner are -5. That blows. OEL's fine. He's not all-star, but he's fine. Adam Zukis, when is the Agent Provocateur show live in London, Ontario? It's at the Ivy School of Business. So me, Adam Wylde, I am going as the Robin to Alan Walsh's Batman to the Ivy School of Business, which is quite prestigious. And we're going to do an AP live in front of Western University. It's kind of neat, huh? That will be on January 25th. I don't know if you can buy tickets to that. I don't even know how that works. But yeah, I'm going to London. And I was hoping to see the Knights, but they're in Sudbury that weekend. So I will not be going to see the Knights. Holmberg, nice play. Nice to see him back in the lineup and making good plays. And how about this fourth line? We should play them more. Nice offensive zone power, or not power play, pressure. Different P word. I have to say, listen, Connor Dewar, fight last game. Nice offensive zone thing this game. I like it. I like it. Pickleball Pat, boo. Boo Western from Laurier. Robert Malloy, Adam will be Mr. Business. That's me. I'm Mr. Business. That's my name. Mr. Biz, you can call me. There's nobody in hockey with the nickname Biz, right? Yeah, it would just be me. Right? Yeah, that's a good nickname for me, Biz. I'm going to take that. Guys, call me Biz from now on. Mr. Biz. That's what Hayden, that's the joke. Hayden's just like, what about Paul Bissonnette? Hayden, it's the joke, Hayden. Maybe it was a bad joke, but it was the joke. Jared Martin, screw the Knights. Come down to Windsor on the 26th. Brampton is coming to town. I would love to. But my hotel's in London. How far is that drive? Is that an hour or two? Because London's 3 hours from here. Windsor's 5. It would make sense, right? Hollow Point 5557. Can we talk more about Hurricane Hazel instead of the Leafs? No, that's the former mayor of Mississauga, an extremely impressive person, but not one that we need to get deep on the Steve Dangle podcast. But you can't stop Steve and Jesse once they're going. Yeah, Lisa says Windsor is 2 hours. Well, if I'm not doing anything, maybe I will. But we also have to do the show, right? New fire started up in California. Yeah, it's just crazy. I really feel if you are in California, you got family in California. Alan is in California. I think we're doing a show tomorrow. I think that Alan will have some stuff to say about it. Suffice to say. Gord Kantz has been a mayor longer than Hazel. I don't know who Gord Kantz is, but that is impressive if he was a mayor longer. Jared Martin, do you want to do a live show in Windsor? Yes, I do. Our next OHL-centric live show is going to come up in just over a couple of months. So we did Oshawa, we did Kingston, and we're going to do another city, and I'm very excited about it. And next year, I'd ideally like to do one a month. But, we were after some other teams, and we got close. But, I think sometimes schedules just kind of take over, and it's crazy. Robert Bett, hey, not that I care, but what's wrong with Swayman? He would have bailed them out last year. Jeremy Swayman missed training camp because the Bruins wanted to pay him $58 million and he wanted $62 million or whatever it was. And they made a huge issue out of that $4 million spread over 8 years, which is $500,000. Nothing for a great goaltender. Yeah. It's bizarre. And when you miss training camp, you spend the rest of the year playing catch up. The Bruins are just beyond sometimes that management group. That's why the fans were chanting "Fire Sweeney." He probably should take some heat at this point. Canadian Girl 83, you should come to Northern Ontario, North Bay, Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie. We did talk to one of those teams, but they were already fully booked. Almost had one. Marner tried to bat it out of the sky. That would have been a great game. So I think we will come to Northern Ontario next year. Specimen. Adam, on the next podcast, can you randomly screen pineapple mid-sentence and just move on like nothing happened and not explain why? I will put it in my notes. Scream pineapple. You got it. I'm going to do what I can to get that done. Next one. Hayden is just distracted by the Wylde Avs games. As much as I need points in fantasy from Boldy, I am currently happy. I have Matt Boldy as well. I think that was a good pick. The Leafs are starting to get a little desperate here. Got about 10 minutes left in the third period. Shots are even at 28. Remember, Carolina is leading the league second in the league in shots per game at 31.9, and the Oilers are number one at 32. Robert Malloy reminding you in the chat to click like if you really like this video. If you're watching, and I know you are, because there's 571 people watching right now, we got 398 likes, which means we're like 170 short. Gotta like this video, guys. Tyler McLaughlin, any chance of the Kitchener Rangers at some point in the future? So, Tyler, Steve and I went to the Kitchener Public Library, and we were there with the Athletic Custons, and we were promoting Steve and Craig's new books, and both books are great. You should buy Craig's book. It's awesome. And we couldn't believe how many people showed up. It was like the line was like 2 hours long. So, yes, I haven't reached out to the Rangers, so it's not the Rangers' fault. I just figured, the London Knights and the Kitchener Rangers are like the Leafs and the New York Rangers of the NHL. Like, they don't need any help promoting. So I'll reach out to them. I'd love to do a Rangers game. Would love to. Chantel Zeller, Adam, scream I have the clap on the podcast. I might just do that. So, I'd like to do some other markets next year. Obviously, we're going to keep going with Kingston, Oshawa, and ideally this other team as well. I almost said it. I can't announce it yet, but it's cool. I'm so excited. This team, I've been looking forward to doing this team for a while. This is going to be a good one. And I'd like eventually to expand out. Could we do some NCAA? Could we do QMJHL? Could we do WHL? Could we do some what if an NHL team was like, why don't you come do a live podcast and do a group day at our game? One day, that is my goal. I would love to have an NHL team say, we want you. Hayden, see my first ever CHL game, Feb 4th. Colts, baby. That's another team I'd like to do. The Barrie Colts play in a nice arena, too. I like it there. Cassie says, Boston is now in the wild card spot with Columbus and Penguins 1 point behind. Watch out for those Blue Jackets. They're actually good. And the Penguins might be, too. And the Bruins are playing bad, kind of like the Rangers. Not that bad, but bad. Lisa says the Sharks would be a great team for that. That'd be cool. Wouldn't hate doing the Sharks. In fact, I would love doing the Sharks. That would be amazing. James David Atkinson, you got to do a San Diego Gulls game. You know what? Part of it, too, guys, comes down to budgets. Like, we would need them to, fly us out, Because we are running a business here, and it's a small business, and we got to watch our expenses. Oh, here we go. Domi, over to Robertson. Great play, but Kochekov has great positioning on that. Stop dead. But that was a great play. That's what we need from this line. Super Nintendo. Adam, I'm from Kelowna. Come do the Kelowna Rockets. WHL rocks. I would love to do that too. I think the problem with doing a West or an East game right now is that flights in Canada are literally insane for silly reasons. I won't get into it here. But we have silly policies about flights in this country, and I think we should change them. Otherwise, I'd be out there. It's like $500 a flight just to get to BC. It's insane. Hogwash says, Adam, if you ever get the chance to drop a ceremonial puck, can you do a fake drop and then throw one player out? That's a great idea. That is a great idea. I would love to do that. Give the Lincoln Stars of Nebraska a shout out. Well, there they are. Allie says, you guys doing the segment on the ECHL the other day gave me hope for the Savannah for Savannah. It's a spooky city full of history. I'd love to do an ECHL game, man. There are some, if you go look up ECHL teams, there are some very interesting cities there that you're like, oh, they have a team? That's cool. I would love to do that. 8 minutes left to go. Marner in the offensive zone. The Leafs have got to start to do something here. Cassie says, welcome to the mid-off, everyone. 11 teams within 9 points. Hey, listen. Last year in the Eastern Conference at the end of it, like in March and in April, it seemed like nobody wanted that last playoff spot. The Pens were in it, the Flyers were in it, and everybody just kept losing a bunch of games, and neither of those two teams made it. The Capitals were the ones that capitalized on it. This year, it seems like there's actually a fight. It's cool. Wheeling Nailers games are a blast. I would love that. Oh, Tanev with the shot. McMahon's out there. Tavares is out there. I think they have scrambled the lines a bit, and they should. Tavares and Marner. Matthews and Marner being -5. Yeah, you got to change things up. That's bad. They're playing bad. Nyes hasn't been a factor in this game the way I would have hoped to. This is a team where I would want him to be in front of the net, but to be fair to him, his bread and butter is being in front of the net while the Leafs have offensive zone pressure, and they haven't really had a ton of sustained offensive zone pressure from the line he's been on tonight. The sustained offensive zone pressure has come from the third and fourth lines, sadly. Lisa saying it's time to manifest a goal. I agree. It would be nice. Could we manifest a scoring chance? There have been shots, but would you say there have been like great chances? A couple. Carolina plays tight defense, man. And really, let's be honest, the Leafs should have been well in control of this game. That first period, 17-second disaster was just that. It was a disaster. It's not good. What could we get out for shipping out 44 as in Morgan Riley? We are not, they're not going to trade Morgan Riley. So I don't even know if it's worth getting into, but a lot. Yeah, not going to happen. Not going to happen. Oh, Canadian Girl 83 gifting 5 SDPN memberships. Thank you, Canadian Girl 83. And please, if you were gifted a membership tonight, please make sure to thank Canadian Girl 83. And also Cassie, who gave some as well. But I want to see you guys. South Philly, Adam Dober, Sigmace, Pickleball. No, Pickleball Pat. You already had one. LMCT. I want to see some thank yous in the chat. We must thank. Oh, OEL with a nice little chance there, but tipped off a skate. 5:05 left in the third period. 31 shots Toronto, 30 Carolina. Frustrating. Okay, there's Domi. Nice little play to Robertson, who's had some wheels tonight. Robertson to the point. Broken stick. Oh, Connor Timmins. Oh, that stinks. Oh, nice little break of play. Oh, Robertson can't get the puck. And this stinks. And good save by Joseph Wall. And get it out. That was a bit of a weak shot. I need Philippe Myers. Put some of that 6'7" frame into that clearing attempt, my friend. Hollow Point 5557. Is there a way to support you guys without going through YouTube? The idea of Google getting 30% of what I send makes me want to vomit. Hilariously, Google doesn't get 30% of what you send. They get more. I think it's like a 50-50 split, if I'm not mistaken. It's insane. There are ways. Apple, if you can get your VIP subscription on Apple, it's a 70-30 split. If you get your subscription via Spotify, we get 100% of it. Apple's got a great thing where if you buy a full year subscription, you actually get a discount. So you pay less per month than everybody else does. But that gives you access to all of our ad-free episodes too. So not only do you get VIP, you also get all of the normal episodes, but without any ads in them. So whatever one you want to go with, it's great. But yeah, damn, YouTube takes a big old cut. They do. Matt says, give me your company email. I'll e-transfer you. That's very kind of you. We don't need to do that. But if you know anybody in the advertising business that's looking for things that they want to advertise, give us a call. We have the ability to, it's kind of neat with the technology now on the audio side of things. If you like listen in your car, we have the ability to give you an ad that only runs in your area. So we've got a client in the West called Paper Snail, and the ad only runs in Alberta. And so Jesse does the voiceover for it. So if you're ever in Alberta and you're listening to our show, Paper Snail is a clothing brand out there. So big shout out to them. They're great. And Jesse does their commercial reads. And so you'll hear Jesse do it, but I have only heard the recorded version of it. I can't hear the Alberta version of it unless I'm in Alberta. So it knows that you're in Alberta and that gives you that ad. I think that's kind of neat. And listen, however you support us, if you do, we're thrilled to have it. You have to understand that these memberships that you subscribe to, being a subscriber, being a member on SDPN, it makes a huge difference for us. This is a much harder business than you'd think. We do well on the advertising side, like we're able to do some really good things, but you have to remember we're a brand new company. And a lot of these advertisers are used to buying with Sportsnet and TSN, and they're like, who the hell are you guys? Uh-oh, we got an empty net goal here. Boo! Hiss. Not a great game, guys. I wish I'd picked a better one. I'm sorry. But yeah, I have to tell you that all of these memberships that you give, that you receive, that you guys, even if you guys receive a free membership and you subscribe, that would be enormous for us. So if you're here, I'd love for you guys to just keep your membership. Thomas says, should I switch to Spotify? Thomas, I want you to have a membership where it makes sense for you. But as long as you're a long-term member, and I see that you've been a member for 10 months, that's all that matters to me. We will figure out the rest. That's our job as a business. But just know that if you are a subscriber, it means a lot. If you are a viewer, but you're not a subscriber, but you watch the ads, that also means a lot. And if any of you have YouTube Premium, which I do, which means you don't see any of the watch page ads, like the ones that come up before a video starts, even that matters because we get a cut of that. It's not a big cut, but again, small business really helps us support our bottom line. It really does. There's just no two ways about it. And it's far more efficient than something like Patreon. Rennie says, know why the Leafs lost? Because it wasn't a Monday Night Grippers Nation game. That's true. That's true. That's very true. It's also because Meme Empress says the Leafs also Adam shaved, so the Leafs are not as good. 2 minutes and 38 seconds to go. Listen, this game's dead in the water, but we're still going to hang in there and have some fun. Tay Masterer 14. Do you think Steve is yelling about this one? I think there'll be mild frustration about the 17-second 2 goals spread in the first period. I think there will be frustration about why is there a picture of Ron Burgundy up? I have no idea. Oh, is it because of the mustache? That's why. Okay, bring it back. No, I'm not bringing the mustache back until next November. No, but seriously, I don't think Steve will be too upset about the first period overall. Second period sucked. Third period they couldn't get anything going. He'll be annoyed. I don't think he'll be yelling. I think he'll be annoyed. If he's yelling, it's for comedic effect. I don't think he's going to be like angry. You know what I mean? 140 left in the third period. And remember, this team is coming off of a 5-game win streak. Losses do happen. Losses to good teams happen. It could have been a bad team. Gun Toten Granny says, oh, the Wylde are not great tonight. I'm blaming the flu. Well, Hayden, by the way, Gun Toten Granny, Hayden, my producer, is a Wylde fan. Not an Adam Wylde fan, although I hope he is. I hope he likes me. He is a Minnesota Wild fan. Losing 4-1 to producer Drew's Avalanche. Yuck. Apparently, Drew's been texting Hayden and gloating all night. So that's just like Drew. Cassie says, if the Pens make the playoffs, Adam should buy a Pens jersey as reparations for his earlier season and Crosby talk. True. Listen, if Crosby makes the playoffs with the Pens, then I don't know if he gets traded to Colorado like we all suspect. But if they don't, the Colorado clock is ticking. Imagine Nate McKinnon, Sidney Crosby, Stanley Cup final, losing to this Toronto Maple Leafs, because that's what would have to happen. Be great. 19 seconds to go in this game. The Master 14, who do you think played the best on the Leafs tonight? I'm going to give it to Steven Lorentz, which is a compliment to him, but not a compliment to the Leafs. Wasn't a great game. Canadian Girl 83, do we get a playoff beard? Yes, you do. Actually, let's talk about the playoffs a little bit, because they are, I know they're 3.5 months away. Actually, let's talk Four Nations first. Do you guys care? Will you hang around for like 2 seconds? Four Nations, we will be doing a stream for every game. Steve will do all the Team Canada games. I will do all the team everybody else. So Steve's going to do Team Canada, Team Canada, Team Canada. And assuming that they don't World Juniors it, I hope that they're going to be close to the finals at least. And then Steve will do the championship game. Whoever's in it. Oh, they're going to do the Storm Search now. It's cool, but I hate it tonight. And then for the playoffs, you know how I did a lot of the Western Conference games last year. I got some big plans. I got some plans. And I'm wondering what you think about potentially streaming every night for a month. What do you think about that? And again, our games don't start, like Hayden and I don't start till like 10 o'clock. At 10 or 11. I'm out of here at like 1 or 2. Sometimes they go to overtime. But I was thinking, instead of doing one Western Conference series in the first round, why not do 2? Could be fun, right? And I could do that again for the second round. That's a full month of hockey. Could we do 30 days in a row? Hayden wouldn't have to do all 30 days in a row. Hayden, just so you know. But could we do 30 days in a row? Could be kind of fun, right? I kind of think that we need to set like an SDPN stream record. I want to go down in our dangle book of world records for the most consecutive streams ever. Would be kind of neat, right? Sedin Magic 15. I'm in for every night. I love it. I think Gripper Nation deserves to go absolutely bonkers tonight. So let's see it. Anyway, I think, guys, I'm gonna go home. Canadian Girl 83 is down for that. Let's go. They are going to be late night games if you're in the East, but it'll be fun. I'm going to go. I've got to get up at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning because I got to fill in on my mom's morning show. How many people get to say that? I have to go work with my mom. Literally, that's a true story. And then we got to do the SDP tomorrow, and I think we're doing Agent Provocateur as well. So I'm going to leave, but I love you all. Bummer game, unless you're a Canes fan. You must love it. And thank you so much for tuning in. Next week, I don't even know what game we're doing, but don't worry, I'll announce it on the show. And look out for me saying pineapple on the show sometime tomorrow. Hayden's going to put up the schedule now, so you'll be able to see it. Steve will be back with his stream on Saturday night. Good night, everybody. Love you, Gripper Nation, and I will see you next week.